Good evening, good morrow, and good day, and welcome to another edition of Slice and Dice, here with the Manylands campaign. We're into session 41, and a lot of stuff happened last time. Hello, guys. Welcome to tonight's stream.
Hello.
Hello.
So, before we jump in with tonight's interesting session, did anyone have any points of order, any announcements before we start? Any of you guys there? Open to the floor. Nope, you guys all good. Okay. I do have one, which is completely unrelated to Slice and Dice, but not completely unrelated if you are a sort of fantasy animation kind of fan. So there's a couple of projects that I've been working on, and one has had its latest release of an episode. It's a animated series called Songbird, which is out on YouTube. Episode 6. I'm so sorry. Dropped yesterday, I believe. So that's all up, ready to go. And it's basically like a I'd say kind of a romance but thriller, I guess. And I play a particularly suspicious character at this point, the ex-boyfriend called Tavern, which has been a lot of fun to play. But yeah, there's lots of insidious stuff going on there and lots of worrying things. You just get a sense of something's not quite right, but you're not sure what. So if you want that kind of intrigue, then definitely go check that out. And also, I'll probably have more on this next week, but if you're interested in fantasy such as like we have here on the stream, then I would also recommend from the same YouTube channel, that's Rainstorm Productions. They've got episode 2 of Changing Tides, which is a fantasy series, kind of a swashbuckling adventure. That's dropping, I think, next week. But I'll keep you updated on that on episode 2. But episode 1, to tickle your fancy, is up on that channel as well. Go check it out. Get a nice role in that one, doing a bit of a northern accent for that one. So you guys can be like, well, this is just this terrible accent, and you can just, enjoy that. But there's some fantastic voice talent besides me. Let's avoid me entirely, but everyone else in there is really good, so go check it out. As I said, that's Rainstorm Productions. Couple of releases on there that I would recommend, not because I'm in it, but because it's good. Yeah, not that that's mutually exclusive. Okay, shameless plug out of the way.
Shameless plug.
Let's I think without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's drop in with tonight's episode here on Slice and Dice. And we are back. So, guys, last time here in the Manylands campaign, some very interesting goings on. Obviously, following this big old encounter with Damon, the head of the Red Mages camped out in the abandoned dwarven fort of Korak, and nemesis of Neris, it seems. After following that battle in which you managed to destroy all of his followers and also the undead that they threw at you, but Damon himself managed to escape, and in doing so caused a cave-in because with his magical bullshit, as Bart put it in an earlier episode, bamfed out of there, causing this collapse in the chamber that you were in. You managed to get out, but unfortunately Leoberin couldn't keep up as the rest of you sprinted out of the corridor and got buried under rubble and knocked unconscious. Things were looking a bit dicey, pun intended, as you guys started to try and dig him out as quickly as possible, with Neris using her new alter self spell, again to great effect, to this time create mole hands to help dig your way through all of the rubble, and Fleeting Look coming into his own with his new ability with his Warhammer Fair's Storm, the throne property and the summoning ability of it to shove massive rocks out of the way by tying string to rocks and to the hammer. It was genius, it was ludicrous, it was very Fleeting Look, so yeah, fair enough, give you that. Anyway, you guys, as you were digging your way through with Malar holding up the doorway because that was about to collapse, awkwardly, Leoberin himself, unbeknownst to him, was taken away by a fey creature working on behalf of the Spring Court, known as a Boggle, and was summoned to Aranth herself, who carried on the illusion that this was a dream and that none of this was real, keeping Leoberin and the rest of us a bit unsure as to whether he was in fact alive or dead at this point. Lady Aranth, who I should have said already, is Leo's patron and is a Fae of the Spring Court. So she's a high-ranking in the sort of Fae hierarchy person, and a lot was learned, I think, by Leoberin. Certainly, it probably brought up as many questions as it answered, but Marshall will probably have to elaborate on that about the goings-on for Aranth herself. She has been very concerned with her powers that have begun to wane, and this seems to have been something that seems to have been triggered by Leoberin, for he, as a warlock, gets his powers directly from her, and this, as a result, has meant that Aranth has had to go into hiding from the rest of the Spring Court until she can find out and restore her powers. And so for that, she had summoned Leoberin to her to find out a bit more of what was going on there. But not only that, also to remind Leoberin that the meeting that brought about his powers also resulted in Aranth being with child, and it is in fact Leoberin's child, so she says. She has told him that she's made plans to marry very quickly to another Fae in either in one of the other courts or within the Spring Courts, just so that then when she starts to show, it will be perceived as a Fae child, because the Fae and non-Fae are not meant to mingle like that. It is forbidden in Fae society, so it will bring shame on herself and the Spring Court itself, meaning that she may well be exiled. And even worse still for the Spring Court, as one of the major courts of the Feywild, lots of political shenanigans, I'm sorry guys, that basically the Spring Court may be deposed by one of the other courts and replaced as one of the major courts within the Feywild. So, in order to keep their position, it's best they keep this a secret. With that information dumped on Leoberin, as well as him not really knowing exactly how this all came about, or how to at least how to correct the loss of power, he was then as the Boggle creature started to talk, kind of started to give away this wasn't a dream after all, and Aranth called the meeting short and sent him back on his way. Taken back through a portal, Leoberin was dumped back into the tunnel where he was buried. Of course, when he was brought back, the party had gone, the rubble had been cleared, and all that was left in there that was maybe a sign for Leoberin, quite literally a sign for Leoberin, in fact, was some stones that had been arranged to say Leo, which Fleeting Look had contributed while the rest were digging. And then, with a little bit of help from the Boggle, Leobrin was summoned across the chasm within Korak onto the other side with the carpet, which the rest of you used, the flying carpet, to get across the chasm, and then went on his way. The Boggle left him be and went back to the Feywild, and Leobrin was then free to head back to try and follow in the party's footsteps. Meanwhile, the party have been trying to get themselves back together and trying to kind of console themselves, really, on the loss and disappearance of Leobrin, for they looked as hard as they could. They cleared the entire corridor and couldn't find any trace of him, besides his staff of the Rat King, which Seth then took. Anyway, each of the party dealt with this apparent loss in their own ways. Malar going to the temple to pray for Leobrin, Brucon howling at the moon, essentially. Not Fleeting Look howling at the moon, he hasn't got lycanthropy, but the Shawshank, there was a lot of montage in there. Brucon had a montage. Nerys got really upset, got survivor's guilt, and also guilt for possibly killing her aunt, or at least it was her who carried out the act, whether the intention or whatever was there, obviously not the point. And then confessing that to her uncle Brynlan, Argentia's husband, who, despite being told that, seemed very understanding and wanted still to help Nerys, despite her pushing him away before he left for his workshop. Fleeting Look, trying to get himself back together while Steph was getting very drunk in the inn. Fleeting Look stole the staff of the Rat King and then went outside and carved Leo's name again in the soil, hoping, and then stabbing the staff into the ground by it, hoping to in some way, as a sign, maybe bring him back. There's an internal logic which the rest of us are not privy to. So, as you're all coming to terms with everything that happened, meanwhile, as you exit from Korak, Leobrin, out into the night air, what is it that you'd like to do?
Well, as Leobrin walks away from this location, sort of gets about 100 feet away, turns back, looks at the place where Nerys has been tortured, where there is a deadly rug, where there is sort of a red wizard base and all sorts of awful things have happened, and just sort of, this is not a good place, this is bad, this is, he thinks, and waves his hands about, and basically 100 foot in every direction from where the entrance is, all of the plant life grows bigger and bigger and overgrown and casts plant growth. So yes, all plant life within 100 feet of that place is super overgrown and costs 4 feet for every 1 foot of movement.
And yes, as
the rest of time.
Yes, so you do so, and all the in this area, obviously on top of the hill, there's not a lot of plant life here, but certainly because of the range of that, you're covering the entirety of the hill. The grass grows unnaturally long, or starts to grow unnaturally long. And sorry, remind me of how long it takes for those effects. What time period that's over?
It's instantaneous, and they last. It's instantaneous. They last until people cut it down.
Just to clarify, with plant growth, does it say that they immediately grow much larger than usual? I can't remember the specifics.
All normal plants in a 100-foot radius centered on the point become thick and overgrown.
Aha.
The creature moving through the area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 foot it moves.
Yep.
So,
gotcha.
Yes, effectively for a normal turn, you get to move 5 foot.
So, all around this cairn that you've exited out of, the grass becomes unnaturally long. It starts weaving around the base of the entrance to Korak, almost vine-like. The way, the thickness and the length of the grass, and more so, there's briary patches, shrubs, lots of sort of thorny plants and shrubs and so on start just sprouting around this area, almost entirely cutting off the entrance to Korak. Is just covered in shrubs and other thorny fauna.
Yes.
But even still, there's a bit of your fey flourish in there as well. Some flowers are also blooming in and amongst these weeds and vines and so on. And yeah, there's quite a few in the pink-purple kind of persuasion.
Yeah. And now that the chance of anyone ever going into there again is severely reduced.
Severely impeded by all that.
Yes. The Oberon is going to head onwards to then meet up with Brucorn outside a pub.
Yep, so we cut forward to when the Oberon arrives back in Hilberg. Takes probably with that plant growth, it's going to probably takes a couple of hours, but it's long into the evening anyway when Brucorn is out there shouting and going through his montage. There's a load of references. There's some Rocky, there's some Karate Kid. There's all that kind of trying to punch his way through his guilt, and it doesn't work, as you established last time. Beautifully described, much better than I have done, Bart. Anyway, as he kind of howls on his knees and sort of lies prostrate on the ground, eventually looks up, and there's Leobrin walking through the gates into Hilberg. Fleeting Look also is there as he's placed the staff in the ground and just starting to walk away when you turn back and see him there and give that knowing look that you mentioned last time. Fleeting Look with a knowing but fleeting look. Sorry, James. So, over to you, Leobrin.
I think we just walked into the pub.
Yep, correct.
Yeah.
When he comes in, I want to just look up at him and just go, Neris, bad taste, Neris.
No, what?
Neris, don't look like him. That's just cruel. To change back.
Even with your passive perception, Leobrin, you can smell Seth from here. He is, he's stinking drunk.
Seth? I'm not entirely sure about Neris's spells, but I don't think she can impersonate my voice, can she?
Yes, you can.
Oh. Okay. Well, that's going to get very confusing in the future.
I mean, yes, you can, Neris.
Wait, I have an, Leobrin will pull out the mask. This is mine, not Neris's?
Yes. You're... And I'm gonna just pass out.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Slumps onto the table.
This
Look at Brucorn and be like, "Are we doing this for everyone?"
we can do actually. And it's just now occurred to Brucon that people looking like close friends and allies isn't necessarily a 100% reliable guide to them actually being guys and allies. So he's kind of looking suspiciously at Leobrin. The mask thing definitely helped. So he's kind of
Yes, because there's
eyes narrow.
Just because there's definitely not a group of assassins with these masks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
eyes
the
narrow.
guy makes you consider the truth.
So eyes narrow, and he turns to Leobrin and goes, it's possible. Here's a question. If I were to say the Flesh Brolly incident to you, what would your reaction be?
Well, I mean, I didn't deal with... I mean, that was quite horrible. I can't cast spells. Neris.
Okay,
dead.
good. That answer satisfies Brucon that this is the real deal, the genuine article. He goes, I'm not sure how many of the rest of the party are likely to be as inebriated as Seth. which I think is probably a factor here. I feel like we should probably try and find Malar. If anyone's going to be able to sort of cut through the tangled knot here, then I feel like it's probably him. It damn certainly isn't me.
But there's no. We're on the ground floor. This is fine. Yes. Says Leo, remembering that time where Malar was intending to throw Neris dressed up as someone else off a cliff edge.
Man, the precedents we have set in this campaign already are.
Cool.
Good times.
Yeah. Now I can't remember from last time, Jack, is whether I know what Malar is up to, but I can't remember if Brucon knows what Malar is up to. I feel like he might not be.
You don't know exactly. You know, I think Brucon, as well as most of the party, were a bit sort of into themselves, introverted at that point. Really, sort of, not navel gazing, but certainly you were more. Your mind was very much focused on the grief and the anguish you were feeling, where you just were aware that Malar didn't stay in the pub. He left very early.
Brucon peeled off before that, really. So, So Brucon will go over...
Actually, no, you do know he's gone to bed, because he would have gone through the pub, to be fair.
Oh, right, okay. Fair enough. The last thing I remembered about Malar was him being at the temple, but I hadn't fully clocked that he'd done his business there. Okay, I guess Brucon goes up to a bar person and inquires about rooms.
Yeah, I mean, at this time, probably the easiest would be the barmaid who's been serving you at the table. Oh, hello. It's a Flick. Sorry, she's a brass dragonborn. She seems to constantly be in a hurry. So, hi. Can I? How can I help?
Oh, we're just looking to find a room to stay for the night.
Well, I mean, I don't normally deal with this, but I can. I think Sandra's gone to bed. It's quite late. I'll see what I can do. And she kind of whips round behind the bar, disappears for a moment behind the bar before reappearing. Sure. Yes. Let me just look at the book. Okay. We have okay. So the owlbear room has been. That's been taken. We've got the wolf room. The mountain lion.
Not this was a themed inn.
We have the sheep and the eagle. I heard somebody running around upstairs. In one of those rooms, I haven't been up to check yet, but I think they're still up there. It was a young elven lady went up that way. Yeah, she looked pretty angry. I didn't want to get involved.
Yeah, that was definitely a solid deduction on your part. Okay, well, me and my companion here would each like to take a room if that's all right.
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I don't normally do this. I'm not sure I'm entirely allowed, but yeah, that's fine. Let's see. How much are they? Three gold pieces, please, for the room.
Oh, certainly. And Brucon hands over 3 gold pieces.
Thank you. And did you have a preference on rooms, sir?
Sheep are nice.
The sheep room, of course, yes.
Fluffy, warm, comfortable.
Gives you the key with the wool fob attached to it. And for you, sir, that's a 3 gold pieces for the other room. So did you have a preference at all?
No. Whichever. Lucky dip.
Okay. And she just lays all the keys out for a moment. And does and I rolled a 4. So she picks up the wolf room. There you go.
Oh, thank you very much. That's yes, wonderful.
3 gold pieces, please.
Yes, hands
over. Thank you. Here. Okay. Well, enjoy your stay. And I mean, we serve breakfast pretty much whenever you're ready, really. So, because I appreciate it's quite early in the morning now. So, just when you're ready, come down and order. If you need anything else, I'm around. I think. No, Nessa's gone for the evening. Slander's around. He's asleep at the moment, but anyway, somebody with a hand, basically, is what I'm saying.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And yes, the other two in the bar, I'm sure they'll take care of themselves.
Okay, no problem. I will. Oh, your friend looks a little out for the count.
No, that's just his normal skin color. It's fine.
No. He's no. I didn't mean anything like that. No. He's passed out on the table.
Yes, that's also very normal. Just put him, sort of tidy him over to one side. It'll be fine. Maybe we throw a bucket of cold water over him in the morning if need be.
I don't really want to get in trouble, but would you?
It's fine. Honestly, it's fine.
Would you mind just moving?
Oh, you want me to sort of nudge him over? Okay, that's absolutely fine.
Yes.
And Brucon goes over and kind of folds Seth up a little bit, and then sort of posts him into the comfiest looking corner available.
Yep, you do so.
And then he'll he hasn't got if there's something vaguely pillow-like on offer, he'll kind of do that and a little kind of roll him and go, there you go. He's not insensitive to Seth's comfort. He's also just not he's not willing to appoint himself as Seth's carer.
Yeah, that is
yet.
That's Fleeting's job.
Getting the right balance.
Yeah, it is Fleeting. Yeah. Don't want to muscle in on Fleeting's territory here.
Very much about the balance. The party balance. I like
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have
Please
our
put
own
me in a
roles.
room with a lock away from Fleeting, please.
Okay, so the two of you, I have your keys, so you're welcome to retire whenever you would like.
Yeah, Brucon's sort of turns back to Leo and goes, at some point we're probably going to need to have a catch up about what happened in there, but just to say, very good to have you back safe and sound. Sleep well. And then Brucon toddles up the wooden hills to Bedfordshire.
So you head on up. Leo Bryn, what are you doing?
Also heads up to the wolf room.
Okay.
Yeah, it is late and he's had a long day.
It is
He's
late
had a
indeed.
long day.
Very long day. You've all had a very long day, and I think as you two, being that you're relatively sober, Leo Bryn completely sober, as you start heading up the stairs, it's really then that it starts hitting you, now that you have a moment to relax, that the muscles start to ache, the tiredness starts to seep into your vision. You're really feeling the weight now of the day that you've just had. On the other end of the spectrum, Fleeting Look, what are you up to? As you're still awake. Dan?
Fine, skip him. He'll do something to Seth. Skip. Go to someone else.
I can't hear you.
Flash to morning.
No, we cannot hear it.
Hang on 1 second. Can't hear you.
Fine, flash to morning. Long rest.
We will jump back to you when you're.
Nah, we don't need to.
Nah, do it in a moment. Okay. Anyway, so with that out of the way, as Fleeting Look gets on with whatever he gets up to overnight, we'll skip ahead to the morning. We will circle back to Fleeting Look when his sound's working again. / I've got messages about it. But anyway, so overnight, a disturbed sleep for some. Fortunately, you don't actually, Brucon and Leobrin don't actually come across Neris when you go upstairs. She must have been in one of the other rooms, so that's convenient. But overnight, for most of you, it's a bit of a fevered sleep. It's, I think the events and the ramifications going forward weigh heavy on your minds to do with Damon, the Red Mages, and of course the bone dagger that was mentioned, and the fact that this could be the same one you saw above the bar in Flaming Jak's. That's at the front of your mind. For Malar, there's also the confusion about the Lady Helene Grenforth, that statue that's still there in the temple. That it's just a reminder as you walk back in there, wondering, remembering I need to sort that. Like the conscience really is playing on you in your sleep. For Seth, it's wondering, when am I going to get my money for for those basilisk parts? It's been a long time. Like, what's going on here? But that's mixed with a lot of joviality and drunken fantasies, which we won't go into any detail of right now. Lots of seafaring stuff. But Leoberin, it's still feeling a bit mind-boggled after everything that happened in Korak and then talking to Aranth. Remembering your tome comes to mind, the vine-wrapped tome that you were given, apparently from Aranth. It was delivered to you some time ago, and remembering that this was a magical arcane tome that it seems to follow you throughout your dream, but then it is accompanied by a second book, and this one is the one that you picked up in the lair of the Froglodyte, the one that its last entry said the hunger, I'm so cursed, not in that order. And remembering the rest of it, that seems to be written in some kind of cipher, and wondering what the connection is there. And as those two books seem to coalesce in your mind, it's almost, it pans backwards, your vision, and you see that they are contained within a crystal ball, the same crystal ball that you also picked up, that came out of the Froglodyte's mouth when it died. Yeah, it's just adding more confusion, basically, Leoberin. It's just more things. What does this all mean? And trying to piece that all together. For Brucon, it's the balance. Not in your teachings in the monastery about the balance very much were very much black and white, good and bad. There was a diametric kind of relationship there, and it was very clear cut. And it seems that now, the more that you've adventured, the more that you have hung around with this group of individuals, the more that you've started to notice shades of grey that creep in to your moral philosophy. In fact, your vision in the dream turns to grey, and again it kind of pans out, and you see a mountain before you. But there is a set of scales on top of the mountain that seem to pivot like a seesaw, in the same way as the balance is like a seesaw in the analogy you gave Malar oh so long ago. Daenerys, what haunts you...
Theology with Brucon.
Theology. Yes. For Daenerys, it's... At first, it is a cleansing fire that you see. It is a rage-filled, deep red fire. You see Daemon's face within the fire, and you wish that, yes, it was his face that was burning. And then, as it intensifies, it becomes a bright white fire. It's intense even more so, but it no longer seems to be rage that's filling you. It seems to be more a calmness, like you're in the eye of the hurricane, as this fire just envelops that vision. And then suddenly it's put out, and again, as the darkness and smoke clears, that face you saw once before, that of the red dragon, appears before you, this great being, similar to the ones you've seen in murals and so on your travels. It's a truly haunting image for you. But somehow, looking into its eyes, it's your face you see back.
Do I get to morph into a dragon? I wanna.
Interpret this how you want to.
I mean,
it's dragon time.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be so cool. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help it. It's like, do I get to ride it? Oh my god, do I get to be it?
Who knows?
In
Only time
in
will
in
tell.
one of our stream chats, Bart just wrote to do for Neris, become Red Dragon.
Just
yes.
seen that. Yes. Oh
Yes.
no.
Going into the section notes.
Oh dear.
A reaction like that is just like, yes, okay, so now we know this is another thing that's on the to-do.
Add
There's
that
a lot
to
of
the
murder
list.
there's a lot of murder on the to-do list, but there are some other things as well, and Red Dragon is definitely one of them.
And finally, for fleeting look, in his dreams, it's oh sorry. Before we go any further, Sassy Siren Rain has joined in the chat. Hello, welcome. Dropping a couple of messages. Thank you guys who are on it on the Streamlabs. Sorry, on the Twitch chat. Not the Streamlabs chat. That's where I'm streaming from. On the Twitch chat, responding to stuff because I miss so much doing this stuff because I'm in the moment. Anyway, so fleeting look. Finally,
We haven't got Dan in the chat right this instant.
Yep.
And he's back.
As in, he's not on. Oh,
He's back.
He was gone from the Discord voice chat as well, but he has just come back, although he is
he's
muted.
muted. But anyway, finally, fleeting look has a little dream, which it seems. What's if the rest of you could see a window into Fleeting's mind, you'd be. Well, I don't think you'd be surprised by the fact that you're going to be surprised. His dream basically is just the same as reality. It's just all of you just walking together, just on your travels. Him and Seth arm in arm. Dan's DK's laugh. And Seth looks particularly pleased with himself because he has a fancy new hat on, and Fleeting feels very pleased with himself, as it's the hat that he ordered, and it is everything that he wished it would be for Seth. And yeah, they're just merrily skipping along, and then the sky darkens, and Fleeting looks at his own hands, and the hammer disappears, and what he sees now, his hands start turning into claws, hair sprouting off of them, and he feels himself becoming the werewolf again, and Fleeting Look wakes up in shivers and a cold sweat as he hangs from the ceiling of the room that he's in, and wakes up especially early. Sorry, Bart's just posted a picture, a screen grab of James. That's very funny. I'm going to share these on socials later just so everyone knows what I'm talking about. Okay, so with that anyway, hopefully Dan Fleeting picked up on that. If not, we'll catch him up on that later. But anyway, for the rest of you, you wake up in the morning. You're free to do whatever you want to do. So let's first go to Malar.
Malar will wake up. He will spend sort of 20 minutes, half an hour in prayer, i.e. switching out his spells. And then we'll go downstairs for a simple breakfast of and await the rest of the party.
Am I still there when he comes down?
That's a very good question, Seth. Sorry, James. So yes, and he is actually. As you go down Malar, you notice on your left the table that that your party were sitting at for most of the evening. It looks like it's been tidied. It looks like it's had a quick once over with it's had a wash of some kind. What hasn't had a wash is Seth, who is still slumped in the corner, just on the edge of one of the benches there. On the opposite side of the room, Slander Buview waves over to you. Oh, good morning. It's good to see you.
Oh, good morning, sir. Is this guy a bar person or just a person?
So Slander Buview is the proprietor of the inn that you've met him for. He's
bar people are people too, Dan.
He is the barkeeper. Yes, he.
You know what I mean.
He's quite a welcoming chap. Quite heavy set. Got a bit of a paunch going on. He seems well-meaning though.
Oh, good morning, sir. Breakfast, please. Just fruit. Could I get a glass or a pint of water and perhaps a larger flagon for my friend? Seth.
Well, yes, there's a water barrel on the side of the bar. I could give you a jug and you could go over there if you want to fill it up yourself.
Oh, I would. Thank you. I would have did that.
The barmaids from last night, she may have charged your friends for rooms, and I already said you had your room for free. So if you wouldn't mind reimbursing them when you see them, I'll trust you. You seem like a man of the cloth, whereas your friend over there seems a bit more suspicious. Like, so there's 6 gold pieces here. If you wouldn't mind giving them back.
Your
Sorry,
instincts
9.
are key, sir. Thank you. I will endeavour to do this. The breakfast and the jug.
Oh, yeah, I'll bring the breakfast over. Here's your jug.
Mallard takes the jug. I assume he has a glass as well. Gets himself a water, fills the rest of the jug up, just goes and sort of goes to the table with Seth, puts the jug in front of Seth, even though he's not awake, and then just sort of sits down, not exactly opposite, but just off to one side, on the other side of the table, and just wait for his food and breakfast.
Sure. So I should note, rather than glass, the jug, the cups, they're all clay, but they're all very well made. So you can just place it down, a bit hardier than glass, but yes, well crafted, and you wait there for your breakfast. While you're waiting, let's I think next up on the list of people to wake up early, Brucon. Over to you.
Yeah. Okay. So Brucon will rise slightly earlier than normal and do a meditate, which is now how I exclusively will refer to the process.
Do a meditate.
Seeking oneness with the universe, doing a meditate, and reflect on the kind of the strange, twisty moral maze in which he has managed to find himself. And the kind of overriding theme is, like, I became a monk to get away from this shit. But it's sort of starting to realise that actually being in the world means inevitably being exposed to this shit. So he'll give that some pondering for a while, and then get his stuff together and toddle downstairs for... He's doing a lot of toddling right now. He's going to come downstairs and ask for something to eat. And whatever the Manylands equivalent of an Irish coffee is.
Well, as you come down and place the order with Slander, he kind of looks at you for a moment. It's not. I mean, I could. I've got some rum. I could put that in your. Got some. Yeah, we've got some coffee. Yeah, it's fine.
Perfect. Make it so, number one.
Well, it's seen a lot of demand for coffee in the last couple of years. It's been an export from ISK, but it's not something that we've had very often here. But apparently, it's all the rage in the Crowflies, so I hear. He just prattles on as he prepares the coffee for you, and he gives you a healthy measurement of rum, drops it in the coffee as well, and slides it over to you again in this very ornate-looking, this time clay. So not porcelain in this case; it is a clay cup. Slides it over to you. You know what? I'll include it in the room because you guys. I gave your gold back to Mr. Shade Creek. Because the barmaid didn't know I'd given you the rooms for free, so I was just reimbursing you like.
That was Brucon that was addressed out, was it?
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah. There's a lot of things going on.
No, sorry. It wasn't. I was being.
I've seen that strange noise thing.
It wasn't your. Yeah, someone's doing some gardening or something around here, but it's not a crying infant, so progress. Anyway, I live directly under a family with a very young baby. Anyway, so Brucon kind of goes, "Oh yes, sorry, I'm still adjusting to this paying for things routine. Long story. Anyway, yes. Well, thank you very much for your honesty. I appreciate it very much."
No, not at all. We're honoured to have you you guys as patrons here at the Trickle Inn. We've heard what you guys were doing with the werewolf stuff, and one of those dwarfs got killed here in the town. We all knew that you guys were the ones that dealt with it, so thanks, basically.
Oh, well, you're extremely welcome. Now, about that rum. Coffee. Coffee and rum.
No, it's right here. Here you go.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Sure you don't want any food or nothing?
Some food would be good, I suppose.
I'll bring some over.
Drinks to his lips and takes a generous portion.
Yes, very good. I'll bring some over. Just give us 5 minutes and we'll bring it over.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And heads on over to join Malar.
And as you head over to the table, you see coming down the stairs, it's none other than Neris, who we haven't had anything from today. Hey! So Neris, tell us.
It is I.
So we can rewind time a little bit for you. So what are you doing when you get up?
Am I a dragon yet, though?
No, unfortunately, not a dragon. As you wake up, you see that you're still in you have your elf-like limbs.
Okay. I'm gonna wait because I'm going to be. Neris is very hungover right now. She's not feeling great. But after that dream, she's gonna go and start looking at her hands like patting, like, oh, fine. Because she kind of wanted. I'm putting that idea into the character now that she kind of thought it would be cool if she was a dragon. Yeah. Partly because then killing Damien mercilessly would be so much easier. Mm-hmm. Because the troubles would just be done.
That's true. Melt him. Yeah. Yeah.
So after that initial shock, she then how you have like the slightly delayed onset of like, oh god, I don't feel good.
It's compounded by the fact that you're quite achy because you basically spent the evening slumped up against a wall.
Yes, on the ground against the wall. Yes, absolutely. So she doesn't feel great. So she sort of slowly picks herself up and just kind of starts lurching down the stairs. She looks around and she's like, "Is this my? Might as well have been my room." Gets up and starts lurching down and just thinks like need just coffee and water and quietude and just is very delicate right now. Just numbness. So she's just lurching downstairs very slowly, probably looks paler than she has before, and lurches over to the bar and is like, coffee, water, and no questions.
All right. Here's a cup and the water barrel's over there. Coffee, just be a minute. It's really popular now. It's shipped over from Isk originally. Apparently, it's been quite a storm in the crowflies, though. They swear by
That's enough talking, please. No talking bad.
Apologies. I just sorry.
Thank you. So she just goes to sit in the vicinity of where the others are. She acknowledges them and then is going to use Mage Hand to get a glass of water over. If that's basically she wants to use her Mage Hand, so not even the effort of having to walk to the barrel and back. She wants to use Mage Hand, just be like, here, and then when the coffee's ready, same thing. The hand literally waits on at the bar, kind of tapping its fingers.
And as you're using your magical gifts to mean you put in as minimal effort as possible in retrieving your drinks, Leoberin, you are awake. And what would you like to do as you wake up?
Just to quickly jump in, so just before Marshall takes over. So Brucon sees. So presumably Neris is coming joining. So it's Brucon, Neris, and Malar
and an unconscious Seth.
Well, yeah. of people currently conscious. So Brucon kind of. Oh.
I just want to quickly say that I forgot about the unconscious stuff, and so Neris just is gonna just glance over, there, just kind of look up, and then just
to be that guy right now.
This guy.
No, I feel him. I feel him right now. Like he's in for a rough
Okay.
start.
So as Neris comes and sits down, Brucon goes, "Good morning. I can see you're a little delicate right now, but that being the case, I'm just going to give you a little bit of warning. Something interesting happened last night. You might want to prepare yourself for...
Fewer words, more information. I don't.
It's fine. You focus on feeling better.
Thank you.
I would like to know what the situation was last night. I sleep.
It'll. I feel like it. I feel like all will become clear fairly shortly.
Okay, just before we switch
At
over
this
to
point-
Leobrin, I'm just going to try a very hard reset with my Skype stuff. But carry on, Neris, what you're going to say, because we can still hear you guys.
I was just gonna say, just gonna slump onto the desk, onto the table at this point. Just like I don't feel good. So just doing like a dry heave, just like. Huh.
Oh
No.
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 Ms. Neris, if you really are that unwell, I can remedy the situation.
Yes, please.
Malar will reach across and tap Neris and bop a lesser restoration on it. Should
Yeah.
resolve the poison effect.
Yay!
Yeah, that would remove your hangover. I think we had a discussion about this over the last week, actually, didn't we? With drunkenness. I was like, yeah, lesser restoration, that's fair.
Yeah.
Pausing condition, it makes sense. So yeah, with that, you feel rejuvenated, Neris. So feel more alert. It's almost like you've taken pre-workout. You're like, whoa, whoa.
And then she just looks at herself. She gets up and she just like does a big bear hug on Malar, just like huge. Thank you.
Oh, Ms. Neris. He sort of hugs her back.
Pat with elephant paw.
I mean, what's that? What is the exact height difference between Malar and Eris, out of interest?
About
Yeah,
2 and something feet.
Yes, they're there.
I think like the top of her head is about chest height for Malar.
It's perfect
But-
trunk height, really, that he can just.
Yeah, trunk pat. And she's just kind of like weirded out by the. But it's all fine.
appendage.
It's all fine. And then she returns to her coffee and water.
All right. Okay, so next up then, Leobrin, what are you doing when you wake up this morning?
Yes. We'll go about his morning ablutions, and yes, sort of pick up the mask, look at it, sort of hold his ear next to it for a bit, like, hello? You're going in my bag for the moment. We'll pack that away. And then, yes, slowly pick up everything else, get set, and head downstairs.
All right. Start heading downstairs. Your bag's starting to jingle a little bit with all of the interesting items you now have in there. And as you head downstairs, you can see most of the party to one side at the table. They haven't noticed you yet, as you haven't got to the bottom of the stairs. But yes, they're all to one side of the table. Seth is exactly where you guys left him. No fleeting look yet. He hasn't woken up yet. But anyway, over to you. What would you like to do?
Morning.
Oh, Malar stands up. What is this? Identify yourself.
There swings around. I thought we told the Doppler to get away and just like prepares like a fiery hand.
Oh, goodness, doppelganger.
Brucon at this point jumps up and goes in between and goes, "Oh, this Joker's gone horribly wrong." No, it's Leo. Honestly, it really is Leo. Show Leo the flesh brawling incident. Do the thing.
The flesh brawling incident where Neris died. That one.
If we've had two flesh brawling
Lost
incidents, then
magic
that's really
and-
disconcerting.
I've just checking because you asked me about it last night, and so I'm just checking that wasn't another thing we're referencing.
No, it's how I know you're you. Apparently.
Okay. Seth told me to touch Neris's body with a flesh body on top of it, and then I lost my magic, and other
No,
things. You
Yeah,
stabbed yourself.
does kind of
And then
And then we
So-
came out of the cave after you'd stabbed yourself, and you had like a. Then we did more things.
yeah. See, it's him. It's a Manylands miracle.
as he says that, like Neris's like head just like drops, obviously not on fire anymore, and just goes like, like, how? What? How? Just how?
Malar will walk over, give him a sniff with his trunk, assuming that all checks out. Just, oh, Mr. Leobrin, just sort of grabs him by the shoulders, give him a little squeeze, and then hugs him.
Yes.
Sits down to Neris get on whatever she's doing.
You what?
I was just I figured that you might have some more questions to your how.
Just, well, she's just there waiting, like. Well.
So yes, it's all a bit fuzzy. I'm fairly certain it wasn't a dream, although it was insisted it was a dream at the time. My patron stepped in. So I sort of
Baby
I get
mama.
my magic from someone else, and they sort of came by and pulled me out.
Oh, Mr. Leobrin, may I ask who you derive your magic from?
You're a bad man. You're a bad man, Dan. You're a bad man.
A fae? Just you wouldn't know them.
I'm not overly familiar with such a concept. Is that a god?
I mean, kind of. They're sort of they're like somewhere between us and gods.
Mr. Leobrin, how long have you been dilly-dallying with this semi-divine person?
At this point, Nera starts thinking about like the
you,
connection
Dan.
between the red dragon in her visions and this is like, could it? Okay, that's interesting. Malar, it's fine. He's, we all get our magic from somewhere. You get him from your gods, and we get it from other sources, and that's
I will
fine.
say this
As she walks over
simply-
and mends his rough
I
again.
will say this simply one
like,
last
protectively.
time. You should not be dilly-dallying with people that are offering you some sort of magical abilities unless they are hard fought and earned from the divine above. Anybody else is shady, but Mr. Leobrin, pleased that you are back. Just be careful, please.
Yeah, well, I think it all worked out quite well. Yeah, Marta, as Neris comes over to do the rough thing, she will notice that all of Leobrin's clothes have already been mendinged.
So she'll come over and like almost protectively do that. Like, look, it's fine towards Malar. Like, put one hand on him, just like, then just looks at Leobrin and just kind of narrows her eyes, like,
Oh no.
One thing that also takes your
I've been
attention.
unfaithful.
somebody else mended your clothes. Who is she? Who is she?
I mean, I didn't know you were going to say that, but
No,
this
it
might
wouldn't say
complicate
that.
what I'm about to say now. You also notice when Leobrin starts talking to you about where he derives his powers from, as well as kind of blushing a little bit and looking a little flushed. That's the opposite. He a pale kiss appears on his cheek. It's
like-
kind of a purplish color.
She's gonna look at it. She's like this, and she looks at him like, "How friendly are you with this patron?"
Yeah, when Brucon sees that, he just nods to himself and then just carries on with his coffee.
Seeing Neris like look at his cheek, like the urban is going to cover it. It's like that's been there the whole time. It's just it doesn't show
Malar
up
serves
all
the
the
god,
time.
but Leo, he serves the god.
Oh no! Seth's not even awake to say that. That's annoying.
If only
so
Seth just woke up, like looking over his shoulder.
What
Let's
Malar will say.
Jack has to put
Malar
the stream
will
on a
just
mature
quickly-
rating now.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's fine.
On the discussion of where powers are derived from in this entity, Malar will just append quickly. Maybe don't mention Seth. I'm still not entirely sure of his conviction.
What the?
I would say, Seth, that if you would like to, you could have woken up but kept your eyes closed to be listening in. If you would like to do so, I would need you to make a performance check. And
No,
that could be-
I'm good. When
You're good. You're good.
when
You
I
just
wake up, when I wake up, I'm just gonna wake up.
Okay. Yeah, around this time, I think, with everyone around the table, besides Fleeting Look, you start stirring as Fleeting Look comes down the stairs. So Fleeting, because I think Daniel, I think, can we hear you now?
Hopefully.
Yes.
Yay.
Oh,
So
no.
let's circle back then for a second. Fleeting Look, what was it you wanted to do before going to bed for the evening?
Oh, no, my plan's kind of off the table now, unfortunately, because Seth got left in his place, but no, it's fine.
Sorry, buddy.
No,
We're not
that's
very
okay.
funny. No, this is the best scenario.
Uh,
Move on.
Where's everyone sitting at the moment?
So they're all round the table where you left.
I wake up.
Seth.
I wake up. I wake up.
I'll sit next to Seth.
Cool. Yeah, you can do so. Seth is actually on the end of the bench, but you can deliberately grab a chair and move it round to be next to him if you'd like to.
Yes, please.
Okay. And as you hear the chair clattering, Seth, you wake up, and the first thing you see is the smiling turquoise tiefling of Fleeting Look at your side.
I'm just gonna sit up, nice and perky, and just go. Oh, morning, everyone.
Mr. Seth, good morning. Pleasant dreams, I suppose.
Yeah, nice restful night.
Are you feeling comfortable?
Yeah, I mean, when you spend several months falling asleep completely drunk on a ship, falling asleep in a pub, it's quite relaxing.
I can see how that would be. Well, you're welcome.
This group dynamic's great. I love it. Okay. So over the course of the next sort of half an hour or so, you're served breakfast. It's relative. I mean, you're getting it for free, so it's not the most standout dishes in the world. We're talking porridge basically for the morning. They were all served up, and you can consume that. And any business you want to talk about probably would be an idea to decide what you want to do now.
I'd like to ask Mala something.
Sure.
Mala, the way you contacted Neris, could I get you to contact someone for me?
Oh, I don't see why not, Mr. Seth. Who are you after me contacting?
So I'm going to use minor illusion to pull up a picture of him, and I'm just going to say this is the person who asked me to get the contract to the Basilisk. I just wanted to inform him that we had it already, and also ask for some information.
I'm going to need a bit more information than that, Mr. Seth. What is this person's name? This might not work. This could be tenuous. I typically have to have, I think, met the person I want to message.
I don't know his name exactly, but this is what he looks
Mr.
like.
Seth. Oh, Mr. Seth. You are.
Okay,
Oh, you
okay.
took a job
Don't
from
judge me.
somebody you don't know their name?
What's my name?
Seth. Mr. Seth.
And the rest of it?
Oh, well, it's, Mr. Seth, you've never told us your second name.
You've never asked.
Oh, well, a lot has happened in the
Burn.
last week and a half.
Yeah.
Mr.
Not too
Seth.
bad that I don't know his name, but like I said, this is what he looks like. If we could send him a message, it'd be very useful before we leave town, and also to get some information from him in regards to some recent events. He's quite in the know of people.
I will, I'll try, Mr. Seth, but this I sense is unlikely to work.
Are there any
Malal will-
limits to the message?
Oh, 25 words, and, well, I typically don't.
25 words. Okay. I'm going to get out a pen and paper, and I'm going to start writing some words and counting and scribbling out and counting again. And I've just sent, and I'm going to pass the note over to Mela when I've finished.
Sure. As you're writing, you hear you hear and see a lady at the bar. She's kind of slumped over, already with a glass of wine at this early hour. It doesn't look great in itself. She seems she's freckled a face, quite slender build, wearing fairly ordinary traveling clothes. She doesn't look like she's particularly well off or anything, but she does seem clearly quite upset as her sort of red locks are kind of a bit unkempt over her face, and she says, "Who cares what's in a name? You know, you think you know somebody, and then they just turn against you, and they betray you in the worst possible way. They just run off to the mill and go see their fancy woman. I can't be dealing with it."
So Mela, can you send a message?
Malal will read the note, and then Malal will attempt to, he will pull up his amulet and start to speak it. Does the spell work?
So, Mala, I need you to roll percentile dice. So,
Oh my.
tell me what you get. Because, obviously, as you said, normally you need to know, because you need to know the person normally. Second-hand information, there is a possibility you're going to send this to the wrong person.
I rolled 10.
10 in total.
You
Yes.
son of a...
Okay. You
Use
send the
inspiration.
message.
Use inspiration.
It's a percentile die. Shut up.
You send the message, but you do not receive a response.
Well, in that case then, as I'm sending the message, everybody will hear the following.
Yeah.
This is Kosef Withak. Full contract complete. At Hilberg for collection. Have additional items for payment, and information on Red Mage, and one named Damon. And then I turn to Seth. Mr. Withak, I presume?
Yes, thank you for asking.
Your name is Kosef.
Everyone just calls me
Kosef.
Seth.
Well, Mr. Seth, I would have appreciated that up front, but I appreciate your salute.
I've got one
I'm
very
just
loud
staring at
keyboard,
Mala.
hang on.
Did he send a reply?
Did he?
You do not receive a response.
Mr. Seth, I'm not entirely sure that worked.
So it may
Maybe
have
we can
sent,
try
but he
again
hasn't
another
responded.
later.
Whoever you sent it to hasn't responded.
I think
if he
typically
heard it,
knowing
he'd
the name
respond.
of someone. Sorry?
If he heard it, he would let respond if he could.
Well,
Maybe we'll try again another day.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mr. Seth. Maybe if you arrange an introduction, it will work. Perhaps even knowing his name will progress the matter further.
Well, I've already sent word to him, but it will be about like a month or so till he actually gets here for this.
Well, that is plenty of time to wait. Speaking of time and things to do.
I don't want to be in Hillberg for a month.
Oh, Mr. Seth, I think we have other places to go. I have been musing upon the what happened today. I believe it is probably for the best to, and Ms. Neris, forgive me, we should probably at least attempt to secure what this Damon searching for. The bone dagger, I mean. I think I know where it is.
It sounds like you're suggesting a bar hop.
No. We can.
I agree.
We'll just go. No, Ms. Neris, that is not you talking. That is Mr. Seth. Now, come. Let us use our words. Well, I think we have to, and I am heavy heart to say this. Head back to Flaming Jak.
Jack has left. Jack has joined.
Sorry, just trying to make sure everyone's video feeds are working, so I get occasional drops, so I just try and reset it. Sorry, carry on.
Malar has said what he wants to say. He's proposing that we go back to Flaming Jak.
I think we go to Flaming Jak. We have some drinks. We kill some cockatrices. We restore your lady. And then we come back tomorrow. We get the lady back. We get paid. And do 4 more things so that I can make a full 10.
I'm sure there's Bart's been putting together a list. I'm sure there's more than 10.
Well, as invigorated as Neris feels now, it's like, okay, let's go. What are we waiting for?
It's actually exactly 10.
Hey! At this, I mean, at some point while the other stuff's been going on, Leobrun will head over to Neris, and sort of, I assume we're sitting, I don't know, sit down with her and be like, so I'm not sure exactly how long you had this because you were a doppelganger for quite a while, but we gave this to you. I think we gave it to you rather than doppelganger you. But yes, and starts handing over holds out the staff of the Rat King.
She looks at it, she accepts it. Kind of like, I need this, but not a huge fan. And she remembers that she still has nibbles. She's like, what has my life become? It's a moment of like, of self-reflection. As just looks at yourself. Yeah. As says, thank you. I still don't understand how you survived, but thank you. I'm glad you're back.
I'm glad you're back.
No, I'm glad you're back.
No, I'm glad you're back.
Who's going to be the first person to cast an offensive spell? Place your bets, folks.
Well, only one of us has the staff of the Rat King, so.
And a new shiny sword.
Sword.
Oh, you arcane magic buddies.
I am quite heavily armed now. I got a staff, I got a sword, I got a bow and arrows, I got
something for every
daggers.
And if not,
basically carrying an armory. Yeah.
So,
sorcerer carrying the armory. This is a good plan.
Let's go hunt some cockatrices.
Okay, folks. As you start heading out of the inn, and start making your way towards the gate, Seth, you hear a familiar voice in your head.
Oh shit.
Yes, Seth. Come back to me, Seth. Remember my promise. I give you power, and you save your friend. What could be wrong with that?
This is the medallion voice, not
This is
the
the
response
medallion
that's
voice.
ending.
Yeah,
Damn
this
it.
is the medallion voice, unfortunately.
They both have very similar promises to. So I was like,
Yes, that's
50-50.
true. That's true. They do. Very similar. Yeah.
Sort of Constantine scenario where you're kind of playing two different malevolent people off one another in order to come out ahead. I love it.
I'm sure
You
he'll be
think
fine.
it's just two?
Oh dear. So, anyway, with that out of the way, you start heading towards the gates, and immediately, so you notice, Brucon, you notice that Odo, who's normally on gate duty, it currently isn't at his post on top of the gate, on the top of the balustrade. It's actually, you recognise the blue tiefling, purple tiefling of Asim Devilblight. You may remember, is the second in command of the garrison here in Hilberg. He goes, my friends, if you're going out on the road, you should look out. There is smoke on the horizon north of the Half-Light Forest. Just be careful. I mean, you're adventurers. I'm sure you'll be fine, but just be mindful, okay? It's not my responsibility out there, you know?
Oh, well, thank you very much for warning us. Just out of curiosity, is you're not the usual man. His name's Oddball, I think.
Odo, yes. Odo, Wayland Rumbleguts, yes. Yes, he's a dwarf like yourself, yes. He is resting today. It is his day off, you know. So I've been taking on the guy. And plus, the smoke on the horizon needs an expert pair of eyes, and that is where I step into the fold, you know.
I see. Well, if next time you see Oddbins, or sorry, I'm not quite sure, but next time you see him, if he asks after a dwarf roughly matching my description, tell him everything's fine, not to worry.
Oddbins, I will remember that. I think Odo could do with a new nickname. So yes, of course, I would tell him that that you're fine. Basically, is what you're saying. Yes.
Yes. That's it.
You
might worry. He struck me as a sort of the sort of chap who might worry about other people, and I wouldn't want that. He seems like a good sort.
I appreciate the kinship that you both share. I mean, it's from one dwarf to another. You wouldn't both happen to be members of. His face drops suddenly. You can even see from up on his higher elevated position. You can see his face drop at that moment. You're not both members of this fair fan cult, are you?
Oh no, absolutely not. No. I know. Brucon kind of pops the threads for a moment and goes, No, I'm a devotee of the Barkfang Monastery. No fair fan for me. Absolutely not.
Okay, so if Oddbins asks, I like it. So
product placement.
So I will say that the monk, the monk, the dwarf monk, is fine, and he told. And I would say that you told him that you are fine. Fine, I can do this. This is not a problem.
Splendid. Thank you so much. Right. See you later.
All right, mind how you go, everybody. Yes, especially you, my tiefling friend, eh? Do our kind proud, eh?
Don't worry, I will. But I have already reached my friend limit. Thank you for the offer.
Okay, that's not what I was. Well, anyway, Asim Devilblight has quite enough friends, thank you very much. But I appreciate it nonetheless. Mind how you go now. Guards, open the gate, please. And the gates open up before you, and you're free to continue out of Hilberg. So, heading along the road, ladies and gentlemen, on the way out...
Do I have horsey? Am I on horse? Can I grab?
Would you like to take horsey? You can take horsey if you'd like.
I'm not going to trust him with strangers. It's horsey.
A good adventurer never leaves a horse behind.
Sure, of course you can take horsey. You're going to ride horsey? Just trot along next to
when you leave horsey behind, other adventurers steal them.
You'll probably have to walk with horsey actually rather than trot, because otherwise you're just going to get away from everyone very quickly. Okay.
I'll walk on horsey.
Yeah, all right. Walking along. So as you as you were walking along the road, the half road northwards, heading
Do we
towards
want to
Flaming
take
Jak.
a scenic route to try and find cockatrices in the forest?
Good question.
Well, I think the cockatrices can be something we do on the way back, sir.
Okay, we'll do it tomorrow. So today
I'm
we're
all
just
about
walking to a pub and
expediency
drinking.
right now.
Yeah, that makes sense because it is a pretty direct. The half road is pretty straight and direct for you. Just skirting the edge of the forest. So yeah, that seems cool.
So our entire day plans, I'll go to Flaming Jacks and drink. Okay.
This is a very simple day for you. It's a rarely, and you reflect actually in this moment that, wow, this is an easy task, unlike most of the things we've been doing recently. I'm sure fate will have a way of complicating things for us, but as you continue on the road, now you guys can see ahead of you. It was you can see it very faintly at first, and today it's slightly overcast. Today being the 5th of Festiva, it's you've. It's you're just edging into autumn now, and as an overcast day, you don't notice the smoke at first, but as you continue along the road after the first couple of hours, this smoke is just getting bigger and bigger. Clearly, it's coming more into focus. You know, the smoke on the horizon is the one that Asim referred to. A little bit ominous that it's further down the road. It seems almost in line with the road that you're now following.
Flaming Jak is flaming.
As you look down from the smoke and back onto the task at hand up the road, you can see a small figure in the road heading in your direction.
Can we see who it is?
You can make a perception
How
check.
tall are they?
Make a perception
Is
check.
it
See
Flaming
if you can
Jak?
work out. 'Cause obviously, this distance is going to be interesting.
It's Flaming Jak.
Yeah, almost definitely it's gonna be the guy, isn't it? Perception is 22.
22. Wow, Brucon, you spot the person heading towards
Wait,
you is
what?
a small
Why do I?
creature.
What?
Malar.
What Brucon? Malar.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry, Malar.
Do we sound alike?
It's the voice. It's because our in-character voice.
I
is
mean,
the same.
I think
We
it's,
really,
it's possible.
y'all need to adopt the foghorn leghorn thing in order to distinguish a little further.
I can tell the
Oh,
difference in
wow.
voices. I think it's because you both have you have a similar register, but equally you're both the wise
Possibilities.
guys. You know, wisdom is important to both your characters. So
Wise guys, eh?
Wise
the wise
see?
guy, eh?
Rokon and Malar.
And actually,
Bada bing,
that's,
bada boom.
Leobrin, Marshall, that's very topical, actually. So the person you can see up ahead clearly is a small creature, a halfling or a gnome, perhaps.
She Cali woman that.
Long hair, sort of braided, and yes, a full-length beige trench coat.
She's the one that gave us the mission for the slaves.
She seems to have something in her hand, and
Oh.
says, "Hey!" And the
Miss Shallows.
First thing, sees you waving, and just waves back, kind of half-heartedly, and you hear her say, "Hey, you guys! I was coming to find yous." Anyway,
Does she have my hat? Does she have my hat? Does she have my hat?
as she gets closer, Seth, yes, she has a hat in her hand, and she immediately goes up to Fleeting Lip and goes, "Hey, handsome, I came to see you. Anyway, I got you. Sorry, I got your hat." And she doesn't even look at Seth. She just offers the hat to Seth, still looking
Yeah,
at
I'll
Fleeting
take it.
Lip.
I put the hat on. I put the hat on.
He is complete.
Fleeting takes the hat off Seth's head and hands it back to the person who gave it to him. Fleeting then takes out another hat and offers it to Seth
When?
and places it delicately on his head.
Is this the one that you commissioned at the shop?
Yes, do I still have it? It's been a long while.
I mean, you hadn't collected it, but I will allow you to have.
Oh, I thought I did.
Overnight to have gone and collected it if you would have liked to.
Yes, please.
Yes, because I think this works. This is nice. This is fine.
But what are you doing?
Read the inside, all will become clear.
Take the hat off. And I can't actually remember, what does it say?
Yeah, Fleeting, what does
Like,
it
now
say?
I'll always be with you or something? Or you'll
Oh,
always
now
be
I will
above
always
me
be
or
above
something?
you, I think it says. Is that right?
That was it. Yeah, from Fleeting.
Etched into the leather inside says, now I will always be be above you from Fleeting.
Why?
You needed a new hat.
I've needed a new hat for weeks. How long have you had this?
Weeks. I was waiting for the right time.
When I found my old hat was
Now
the right
actually wasn't the right time, but my hand was kind of forced by you getting your old hat back.
time. I'm going to hold that in one hand and take the other hat in my other hand. And I'm going to look at him. Can I make an insight check to how heartbroken he'd be if I wore the other hat?
I can tell you now, very.
You can make an insight check, sure. I don't think that Fleeting will be contesting this. So.
This is one of those critical moments in a video game where your decision is basically going to either make or fuck up the entire rest of the game.
Oh my god, this is the butterfly
9.
effect right here. 9.
9.
I mean, he did get it made for you, but he doesn't normally get emotional about stuff so far that you've seen. He seems quite attached to you, but I mean, you know, you're quite attached to your hat. I mean, he probably will understand, probably.
While Seth is looking at the two hats, Fleeting says to Seth, "If you do not accept my hat and wear your old one, I will be the most heartbroken I've ever been in my life, and I will probably die."
I'm gonna put.
But I love it.
Does he
I'm
still
gonna
need
put
an insight
Fleeting's
check?
hat
No,
on.
no.
I'm gonna put
pretty
Fleeting's
clear.
hat on. And I'm
made the
gonna
right
put my old
choice.
hat- I'm gonna give him my old hat, and I'm gonna put it on him.
Slightly uncomfortable.
That is such a touching moment.
It's quite uncomfortable for your head, Fleeting, because of your horns. But you can kind of bounce it on top of your head. You might need to get it resized, or cut holes for your horns. Up to you.
Thank you, Seth. Now we look exactly alike.
You're welcome. Thank you for the gift.
You are welcome.
Callie just kind of kicks your leg, Fleeting. Not hard, just to get your attention. Just kind of kicks your foot a little bit. So who's he? Your boyfriend? What is this?
I'm sorry, I don't have any more hats to give out.
No. I don't wear hats. Anyway, yeah, I'm getting distracted. So, guys, I just came from Flaming Jak's. Well, looks like some kind of shit happened overnight. So, you probably should go check it out. It was all like on fire. It looks like it's been knocked down. I don't know exactly what's going on there. But I had deliveries to do. I thought I'd get it out the way and maybe get you guys to come have a look at it. So, you know.
I missed the first part of that. What's got knocked down?
The bar. Flaming Jak's.
Sorry. The bar. We need to go. Hurry, men. And Mary.
Come on, follow me.
Hurry, man! She goes, "Hey!"
She looks up at you and the horse and goes, "Come on, follow me!" And she starts running. You immediately all start overtaking her because she's a halfling. Actually, she's not as quick as you guys. Her legs are not.
Wait a
as
minute!
long.
Wait! We talked about this. As Brucon overtakes her, he looks down and goes, "Would you like a lift?"
Make a persuasion check, Brucon. Not, yeah, persuasion check. Won't be particularly hard, I would have thought.
12.
She kind of looks at your beard, looks you up and down, and goes, shrugs. Aight. Jumps up on you.
Excellent.
So-
Brucon is now officially graduated to Steed.
Given she doesn't weigh a lot, but given given the size stuff, it would halve your movement carrying her. But obviously, if you, well, yeah.
Malar will run just behind Brucon as best he can, and just try and relieve the weight of Callie's shadow just by grabbing the back of her.
Oh man, no, we could do the thing that you do with little kids, where you have you take one hand in each arm and then swing them back and forward as you go, and it'll be even better because the massive height disparity between Brucon and Malar mean it will be an absolute catastrophe. We should totally do that.
That is frog marching in that sense is why not? And funnily enough, this is the exact same way that one of the PCs was incarcerated, was arrested by guards because they were dwarf and there were human guards that just kind of lifted him off the ground and took it because he wouldn't leave. So they just grabbed one arm each. That's in the one shot, the two shot actually, the Amphail Assassin in part 1. That was a very comedic moment, that whole bit. But anyway, back to this one. You guys, so yeah, if you'd like to do so, I'll say for both of you then. You can make this happen, but to see how effective it is and how much it's going to slow you down or not will depend on you both rolling athletics checks.
14.
Okay.
9.
9. Okay, so it is a bit ungainly between the two of you, as you say, because of the height difference as well. As you kind of toing and fro between, and she's like trying to cling onto Brucon, and suddenly Malar's grabbing her, just like, "Hey, what's going on here? This what?" And yeah, it does slow you guys down your travel a bit.
Brucon has a sudden moment of realization and goes, "Seth, you're on a horse.
Yes, thank you.
Can you room for one more? A very small one more."
Horsey, you okay for one more?
Horsey is just kind of nods the head a little bit.
I was going to say, Leo
Horsey says it's fine.
Speaks with animals.
Okay, you going to do that?
Yeah. Horsey?
Does he like his name?
Marshall, why would you do this? You've heard Jack doing a horse.
Excuse me?
Reginald.
Reginald. Lovely. Nice to meet you, Reginald.
Yes.
I slap Leo in the face with my glove and just be like, "No. What are you? Who's Reginald?"
Leo will look up at Seth. Like, the name of your horse is Reginald. And then turns back to Reginald. Reginald. Your riding companion, Seth, was just inquiring if you would also allow our very small friend over here to ride along.
Well, Seth, I see. He's an odd sort, but he seems to like me. He seems harmless enough. Yes.
He's rather harmless.
There's room for the small one, yes.
Wonderful, thank you. And then we'll turn to
Reginald is strong.
Well, obviously. You're clearly very, very strong, Reginald. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
And you, 2-foot person.
Yes.
Bipedal humanoid.
That is how I work.
I look down at Leo.
Need most of us
I hate
do.
you.
What? You can only hear half this conversation. You don't know what's going on.
Yes, you keep calling him Reginald.
Yes, and Leo will turn to the others and say, yes, please ride along on Reginald. Reginald the horse.
I don't want to ride him anymore. Just put the halfling on it.
You just get down
Fucking
and
ruin my
just
horse.
put on the horse. Say,
Fucking ruin my horse.
hey, more room for me. Hey, and she looks down at Fleeting. Hey, handsome, you want to come up here? There's room for another.
Is there not a fire we're meant to be getting to? Come on, fucking.
Seth
Callie's
starts storming
taken
off
Seth's
ahead.
horse. Callie's taken Seth's horse and best friend.
I would love to.
Fuck this
She offers
bitch.
a hand, realizes that's not going to help very much, and just takes the reins. You can, climb on up. And anyway, so Fleeting Looks now riding on the horse with Callie. Rest of you on foot. Boom! Heading towards Flaming Jak's. Now, you get there without incident. It's, again, it's not a particularly... It's not a particularly fine day. The weather is starting to take a turn. Looks like it probably will rain soon. But without incident, you hear the occasional squawk in the forest line. You recognise possibly cockatrice, possibly chickens, wood pigeons, and the like. There's all kinds of wildlife in the forest, but they give the road a wide berth, so it seems. It takes you quite a few hours of travel to get to Flaming Jak's. It will, in fact, as you are getting there, you will probably need to either eat through some rations if you're storming on through, or you would have to take some extra time to forage if you were looking to do that. So it's up to you how you want to play this.
Trail rations are totally fine as far as Brucon's concerned.
If you guys want to do that, that'll be the simplest way.
Yep,
It would be the quickest. All right. So if you
Let's,
cross off the
let's eat.
rations.
Let's get there.
Yep, cross off one set of rations each, and continue on the road. By the time you get to Flaming Jak's, the lights it's starting to go down. It's early evening by the time you arrive, about 5 p.m. And you can see it. This is the source of the smoke. Where was once Flaming Jak's is now lying in ruins. There's bits of timber and stonework scattered across the area. There are piles of ash and still some smouldering embers in places. You can see remnants of where the bar was, and you can see around the bar there is still most of the sort of back bar area has been completely wiped. It's been knocked down. It's just a pile of wood and shingle and debris.
Can we see anyone alive? Survivors? Flaming Jak?
Make a make a perception check, Seth.
Perception. 16.
16. You can hear one voice, kind of muffled through all the rubble and so on. So it's definitely underneath some stuff. It's quite familiar to you, somebody being trapped under all. Anyway, you hear one voice. You can barely make it out.
I'm just gonna yell to everyone. There's someone over here, quickly, and rush over towards it.
Right, okay, everyone, take your positions. We know how to do this. Recovery pattern Alpha. We're the Thunderbirds. We're now D&D Thunderbirds. Which is amazing.
5, 4.
Yeah, exactly. Oh shit! Now that's going to be in my head for the rest of the day. Anyway, okay, yeah. So Brucon will again kind of try to size up the what's the. He's looking for the kind of structural weaknesses, any possible risks, and if he doesn't spot any, then he is just going to start kind of trying to clear stuff away.
So from Seth's perception, you could disseminate that the voice was coming from a particularly large pile of debris that it looks like it was once part of one of the outer walls. There's a mixture of a stone base and then the kind of the wooden topper to it. There's like planks of wood all broken into splinters and shards. There's also, mixed into that, you can see the remnants of chairs, and one of the tables, one of the big round tables from the bar is also in this mix here. So Brucon, if you're inspecting this, for this make an investigation. Oh no, you want to use this will be a stone cunning thing. So yeah, stone cunning gives you double your proficiency.
From a metagaming perspective, I 100% want to use Dwarven Stone.
But it makes sense because there is stone involved in this. So I will. I will allow you to size this up. I believe I'll say for the purposes of this, it would be an investigation check, but you can double your proficiency, or if you're not proficient, add proficiency.
I'm not. Brucon isn't proficient in investigation, so we'll just add that. So +3. Okay, that's slightly better. 14. I am going to stop using this particular d20 because it's not rolling great.
It's going in dice jail. Let's get rid of that one. So with a 14, okay. It looks like the stonework that's in there, not particularly well made, and looks like it could have crumbled under a necessary application of force, not a particularly large one. But what you can ascertain, it's really the wood. It's the wood that is the majority, the bulk of this pile that would need to be cleared. But these are heavy timbers. You're going to need, if not some equipment to help you haul stuff out, you're certainly going to need some heavy lifters to remove some of the stuff, or necessary prying, like with crowbars and so on.
Brucon relays this information.
Up, and he's got.
I think we missed most of that. I didn't.
Sorry, you're dropping in and out there, Dan.
You have Malar, who's got big arms and is not holding up a cavern at the moment. So.
Very true. Things are going up for Malar. Stop doing that. Sorry, things are looking up for Malar today.
Well, if any of this is loose earth and not rock,
there is some loose earth has been revealed underneath, but only a shallow layer of it, not a lot, but maybe could help. Mold earth. You kind of end up making a couple of little trenches with some mold earth around it.
Yeah, dig some trenches is definitely a good call.
Hey, I could dig. If there's
type team,
I dig a trench of earth to the side of it, and then we push the rocks, and the rocks fall into the trench.
The trench, you can dig the trench out, but it only goes down about 3 feet, and then you hit concrete, sort of like foundations underneath.
Neris looks at the wood and starts thinking about whether she can burn it away and whether that be helpful.
Every single person there, before you do that, just looks at you knowingly and shakes their head.
And she just goes like, but fine.
There's one little bird.
So she just basically rolls up her sleeves and starts digging away.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So for those of you digging, I'll say for this, just make a strength check. Malar, you because of your size, larger size, I'll give you advantage on this one.
Yeah.
Could it
14.
be athletics?
No, for this one, I'm going to say just pure strength. It's just pure brute force.
14.
I appreciate you don't get 14. Okay.
12.
12.
2.
Nat
2. Oh no.
Nat 20, so 23.
All right, that helps. So Malar, as Brucon and Seth, you start clearing away a couple of timbers between you, sort of working out that you could help each other out in this situation. Leobrin is clearing some trench for you to dump some of the rubble into. Malar, you notice Neris is struggling as she goes to grab one particular beam. You see straight away she's grabbing the wrong end of the beam, and it's going to cause other bits of wood to start falling down onto her. So you immediately kind of course correct, grab the pieces, move them out the way, and then assist her in moving that stuff. After clearing one particularly large one, you then see a hand kind of coming out of the of the rubble. This is a heavily tattooed, very muscular forearm, but quite stumpy, quite short. You would recognise this, Brooke, and this looks like a dwarf of some kind. And all of you digging can make history checks as you see this.
Does Leobrin count as digging?
Yeah. Oh, you can be on this too.
9.
9.
17.
17.
19.
19. And Seth?
I got 14.
14.
Wait, what was this for?
History check. For the
Oh,
arm.
no, this is... Oh, no, this is... actually 14.
14. Okay, so for those of you who got over 10, so sorry, Rukon and Neris, you recognise that the tattoo. These kind of tribal tattoos, very common. If memory serves, from Provincia, which is north of Burikrin, and they're a bit more of a tribal people. And you equally for Malar and I think Leobrin, because you guys did over 15. You recall that there was a patron. Well, no, sorry, Leobrin wasn't. I don't think Leobrin was there. Malar, you recall that that you met a Provincian, a dwarf, when you first came to Flaming Jak. He actually started a fight with you, which you managed to stop quite quickly. You remember it's Mace Flint of Clan Flint. Yeah, not the nicest individual, but hey, he's in a tough situation right now. And now you can hear his voice a bit clearer, like, "Oh, thank you, can you get me out of here?"
Mallow will stumble over then and, Mr. Flint, I presume, and grab the arm, like wrist to wrist, and then just pull, to start trying to pull him out.
All right, make an athletics check, please.
Oh man, 10.
10. You pulling and pulling, and you say, "You'll fit! Break my fucking arm off! Get ah!"
I let go.
All right.
I let go and start to try and excavate the stuff around him.
So as I'm presumably the rest of you digging also will help in this. So yeah, over the next sort of minute or so, you clear the rest away enough to then set him free. Mace kind of dusts himself off. You can see his bald head is battered and bruised, covered in these tribal tattoos. And yes, he looks fairly grizzled at this point, and part of his beard has also been sort of ripped and burned away. He's not in the best place right now, kind of with a limp, but he's still, he's still conscious and still trying to pass off that he's fine. Saved by an elephant, man. I would not have predicted this is how my day was going to go.
We've been through this. It's Loxodon. Please, sir, take a seat over there. We must find... was there anybody else when this happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think there are a few, but they scattered. You know, there was supposed to be some of my clansmen here as well, but I think they've gone and scarped and left me for dead. Those splitting bastards. Well, looks like I was lucky to get friends like you turn up.
Indeed. May the Eight watch over you. Please, I must insist, take a seat and let us continue to help others. Malar turns back to the wreckage and starts to sniff around to see if he can locate other people.
All right. Using your trunk, nice. So perception check with advantage. If anyone else wants to look for survivors, you can make survival checks.
I shall do so.
Again, that is a natural 20, so 24.
24. Okay, sniffing around. It doesn't seem that the bar was very full on the night or at the time that this happened. But one thing you do recall straight away was the centerpiece of this bar was the tank with the merfolk, and you sort of look over and see that there are shards of glass and water in that area around the center. So you kind of smelt the sea salt. What we're saying of the water, the salt water. And head over to inspect that area. I'll come back to you. So, Neris was rolling survival. Anyone else?
Yeah, I got 15.
15.
Brucon-
All right.
So I can roll a 14.
14. Okay.
Leobrin would like to spend a minute casting Flock of Familiars.
Ooh. Okay. So you can start preparing. You can start casting that as the others search. That's no problem. So, Neris and Brucon start looking around the rubble. Brucon, you look over the area where the booths were that could be covered up with curtains to give a bit of privacy. Some of those are relatively intact, but looking through, no people here at this time. You do find one shoe. It's a leather boot. It looks like it was a rather small foot, maybe, I guess, a UK size 5 to give you some kind of scope. Neris,
I don't know this UK of which you.
Neris, you start looking around the bar area. And it's actually Callie has motioned over to the bar with Fleeting as well. Like, hey, you remember when we first met? No, second time we met, but it was a interesting encounter down in the cellar there. What say we see if that's still working?
What, the cellar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Not sure you're understanding the cut of my drift here, buddy.
no, I don't really remember that meeting very well. But I mean, we can go and have a look if you want.
She looks a bit put out at this. Oh, I see. Hard to get, eh? Sure, let's go have a look. Neris, as you've been looking around the bar, you don't find any survivors here, but with a 15, you find the placard which the dagger was mounted to. There is no dagger on it. It's been discarded. It's under the bar. That's what.
So I'm gonna
remains of the
grab
bar.
it. Say, guys, the dagger may be gone. This might have been Damien. This is not good. This is not good. Just holds up to the rest of the party. Anyone?
Well, I definitely agree with you that it's not good.
Can
Exasperated
you,
sigh
like-
from Malar.
Leo, can you like cast detect magic? Can you just see like if there's any trail, anything? What if there's anything around this that we can use as a lead or a?
I'm in the middle of something right now, but give me however long's left of the minute.
Yeah, you've got about about 20 seconds.
Give me 20 and I'll be with you.
Are you casting Flock of Familiars?
Yep.
Isn't that a concentration as well?
Yep. Okay, give me that and then the other time.
An
on
hour.
top. Yep.
Give me some
So
time.
in the meantime, can she just have a closer look at the
mounting.
placard at the mounting? Yeah, just do
Sure.
a perception.
Yeah,
maybe.
I'll say for this would be more of an investigation.
Investigation.
Yeah.
Okay. That is 13.
13. Okay. What is it you're looking for, Neris?
I'm looking at any kind of signs that that the dagger was removed from this, not by the collapsing of the building, that it wasn't
Got you,
like broken off, but that it was like clearly it was taken. If there's any way to sort of get any indication.
Sure. Okay, so looking at this, you're first trying to look for where the kind of catches or the binds were that would have held the dagger in place. I need you to make a history check to see what you can recall on how it was attached originally back in the bar.
That is 15 again!
Hey!
Yay!
Okay, so yes, with 15, you remember how it was attached roughly. It was, it looked like it was just some leather straps, one at either end of the mounting. And as you look on this, you examine it for a moment, and there's no leather still attached to this mounting. But with your 15 investigation, looking around the floor, you do find one of the straps down there. It appears, to all intents and purposes, that it was ripped off. So it looks like perhaps somebody took this in a hurry. Leobrin, you finished casting at this point.
Yep.
But
Leo, are you done yet?
Kind of. So, I mean, best bets for sensing people under terrain and moving about in small spaces. Would 3 rats get summoned?
All right.
In the meantime, she said, basically, Neris remember she has Nibbles. Like, Nibbles, can you help them out? I mean, what are you even doing in there?
Well, it's much more comfortable in your pocket than the dwarf's pocket.
It's about to be a lot warmer in that pocket if you don't get out and help.
Oh, sorry. Well, I am at your service. What you want?
Thank you. Can you go look in the rubble for any survivors and let us know where they are if you find any? Just go in.
Okay.
Start looking.
Yeah.
Like we did with Leo, but hopefully this time we'll actually find somebody alive and yeah.
Yeah, sure.
And he drops down and then just kind of sniffs the air for a second.
Are we... Where are we?
We're Flaming Jacks. Don't let it distract you because first things first, we need to see if there's any survivors because the whole inn has been torn to the ground. And it's bad. It's really freaking bad.
I don't want to go down into the cellar because...
Then don't go into the cellar just yet. Just search through other rubble. Just
Okay.
be helpful.
Yeah, no,
Nibbles be useful for once.
I'm at your service.
And
So
starts...
go be at my service and go.
Yeah, he disappears like with that.
I am
starts
going to kill that
crawling
rat.
into the rubble. We will deal with Leobrin's rats momentarily, but first, fleeting look. So Callie leads you over to the trapdoor leading down to the cellar. There is some rubble over it. It's mostly just wood. But there's not a lot here, and she just starts kind of clearing it away. You gonna help then, or what?
I think you've got this.
Fine. Starts clearing it herself. Really huffed. She goes, better be worth it. All right. Within a few moments, she clears it. She opens the hatch and issues for you to go down.
After you, I insist.
Oh, what a gentleman! And she starts going down.
And I close the hatch.
Brilliant. Okay.
And
Close
walk
the
off.
hatch. You just hear, oh, very funny, wise guy. I'm just gonna wait down here then. Okay. Marshall, Leobrin summons 3 rats.
Yes.
Where are you sending them?
Just sending them. I mean, I guess if Nibbles has gone to one section, then sort of divide the location into quarters and send a rat into each of the other quarters.
All right.
Yeah.
So you find. So the rats head off on their way. Now they can communicate with you telepathically, right?
I believe so.
In the same way as
they're
as
same
you
as
can with
they're
the
familiars. So
they'll just
they
ding
can-
you if
Yeah, I
if they
can look
find
through their eyes
anything.
if I want.
Start heading in different directions into various piles of rubble. From one of them, you just hear, "Dead. There's a dead one here." And another
Great.
one.
Keep moving.
And then another one goes, yeah, I got one dead. Oh, no, wait, no, they're not quite dead. No, oh, they're not pleased to see me, though. Okay, moving.
Cool, lovely.
And here,
Pinpoint.
Oh, the rattle, who help me?
Pinpoint that location. We're coming for you.
To save some time for the sake of brevity here, you in the top corner, in one corner of what was left of Flaming Jacks, there's another pile of rubble, and under this one is a fairly beaten lady. She's kind of bleeding from the head. This one, as Malar, you help retrieve her from the rubble. You recognise this as the farmer's wife, Giselle, who tasked you with looking into the werewolf incident, with her sort of dirndl and a fairly plump physique. You recognise the blonde hair, the blue eyes. It all comes trailing back to both Malar and DK, I imagine, at this point.
Yeah, that's right. It was.
It's the one you were like, Just like your dream woman, weirdly. She's pulled out the noise. Oh, thank you so much. I don't know what happened. That was. How long have I been out?
Take it easy, miss. Go and have a sit next to this young gentleman over here. And I went up to where Mace is sat down. Just take it easy.
Okay. Thank you so much. And she gives you a bit of a squeeze. It's quite strong, actually. Like you're surprised, given you're pretty strong. But she's like a little bit. And then goes and sits down. She goes and sits down as well. So you've pulled two people out of the rubble, and through your rats, Marshall, Leobrin, you you note there are three bodies here. Are you looking to pull them out, or are you just going to leave them be?
The dead ones. We'll probably pull them out. They seem to, burials are a thing.
Over the sorry,
yes,
go ahead.
We'll sort of call out to the other heavier. Well, no, the Oberon's a heavy lifter, weirdly. But we'll definitely get assistance on the heavy lifting. Yes, 3 different bodies is maybe too much to do solo.
So who would like to help Leobrin recover the bodies?
Yeah, I can
Malar
will
volunteer.
Sure. Okay. So with you guys helping out. Sorry, go ahead.
No, never mind.
Okay.
I just want to check in on Nibbles.
Sure. Yeah, we'll get to Nibbles, no problem. So you guys, it will take you the best part of half an hour or so just to extricate the bodies. Meanwhile, Fleet and Nook, what are you up to? I realise I don't think you're helping out, so.
Is there anywhere that hasn't been looked at yet in the rubble?
In this
Apart
area,
from
not
the cellar.
really. The stairs have completely gone. The second floor is nowhere to be seen. There are bits of roof strewn about the place. There is one section of roof, to be fair, to one side, which you could have a look at if you wanted to. So underneath
I will, now that it's been long enough, I'll go back to the cellar.
Okay. You head down to the. You opening up the hatch and going into the cellar? Okay.
Yeah.
Go down there. Neris, you hear. Well, most of you actually hear, because Nibbles communicates with all of you, which I've obviously. So you
I found someone. There's someone down here. Come here quick. Oh no! Hang on. No, there's a second one is coming down here. There's 2 in the cellar. There's two people in the cellar.
Okay, there's 2 people in the cellar. Let's go.
Alive people,
Out of
priority
character.
dead people.
Yeah, out of character. One of those is Callie, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. Callie and Fleeting.
So Fleeting, you head down there. Callie's sort of. She seems to have taken some time to arrange the barrels in here that are left, and she's kind of perched up on one of them. She's kind of lounging across. She's got one She's posing basically for you, you know, like draw me like one of your French girls, like kind of style. Just lounging across. She's like, you took your time, so hey.
Hi, that looks comfy.
It most certainly is. More comfy than hanging from the ceiling, am I right?
No, that's actually surprisingly restful. How can I help you? You wanted to speak to me in the cellar?
Yeah, I was more hoping you could maybe speak to me on my level. You know, because rather than looking down on me, maybe you could look me in the eye, sort of thing.
Oh,
I'm going to start to make my way down towards the cellar.
Yep, same.
I don't think we really have time for that now. There's obviously been some kind of weird terrorist attack here, which has left a big pile of rubble. I think we need to focus a bit more on what's happened.
Well, I think your friends have got it in hand, but sure. Make a persuasion check, Fleeting.
Well, it's 7, but I do have a refreshed stack of luck points, so I might expend one if that's okay.
Okay.
14.
Okay. Just goes, oh well, I better make this quick then. And she kind of gets up on the barrel and then leaps towards you. It's like to kind of jump onto you. Are you going to let this happen?
I dodge out the way.
Okay, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
I ready a dagger.
That's slightly better. 17.
17. Okay, so you manage to like fend her off, you kind of maneuver out of the way, and she misses. She goes, "Ah, come on! I just wanted to plant one on you. That's all it was."
I pull out my hammer.
Oh, whoa, whoa. Okay, I mean, it's a bit early to be seeing
Which
your hammer,
hammer?
am I right? No. No, okay, fine. I thought we had a connection, and obviously I was mistaken. I don't know. And anyway, you guys start coming down the stairs as she's giving this explanation. Seth, are you doing so openly, or did you want to, move in surreptitiously?
What was that, sorry?
Were you looking to move in openly into the cellar, or were you going to sneak down?
No, we're just walking. There's people dying, Jack. We're not sneaking around. We're coming in to
Okay.
help people.
You start walking down as
People are
Callie-
dying, man.
There are people dying. You walk down as Callie's giving this explanation. Goes, anyway, you guys did a good thing for me back in Half Reach, but it's not entirely stuck. So I've still got work to do. But anyway, maybe I'll see you around. She kind of looks a little bit crestfallen at this point, kind of looking down the floor quite a bit, realizing that she's come on a bit strong and been a bit and has been rejected. So maybe I'll see.
Pretty sure if
you
someone has to
around.
make a deck save, that's being denied.
Yeah.
We've all made
Looks
deck
at you
saves
for
in
an
our
answer
lives, you know.
expectantly, Fleeting.
Bye then.
Okay, well,
So-
okay. Hey.
At this point, can Neris come in?
Yeah, sure. Seth,
So
Neris,
Neris is
anyone else
gonna-
going down?
Huff in, and she's gonna look at the room, and she's gonna just say, "Nibbles, are these the two people that were down in the cellar?"
Yes.
You useless rodent.
Determined to find people. I found them. They were down here.
Just, I can't. Guys,
I want
We
to give
need to-
Neris
we
the
need to-
same look. I want to give Neris the same look that we gave her when we said no to the fireball when she came in, and give a nod.
yeah,
Yes.
she's
And
gonna go
the
like,
rat. Do it.
"We have to go. We have to go. Damien has the dagger. He has my blood, and he has the dagger, and this is when these kind of people gather things, they want to have bad shit happens. Why are we still here? Why? Let's go."
Okay, where are we going? This
I don't
smoke
know,
was
just-
seen-
Leo,
this
have
smoke
you
was seen this
done the
morning,
thing with
hours
the
ago.
have you done the thing with the dagger thing?
Neris, calm down. They're gone.
I can do the dagger thing.
Do something. Somebody do something useful instead of a halfling flirting with the tiefling and with the hammer and the rats and the things.
Out of it,
And I
I'm gonna slap
can't.
her on the face. You're getting hysterical.
And she slapped me. She literally. You slapped me in the face, and I literally, like, turn on fire. Just.
I don't back
What?
up. I'm like, you're getting hysterical. This happened hours ago. They're gone. We can't.
So what? You are tortured. You are not bound to a temple and bled for some weird, freaky, like, thing. I can't. Just. We need to do something useful.
We will, but running out and picking a direction to run isn't gonna solve anything.
So, hey, you guys,
Well, she's still
Was it-
on fire.
you got any idea what would have caused this kind of thing? You were saying something about a Damien or something?
Yes, there's
Red Mage.
red mages. They're wearing literally what I'm wearing right now, and don't ask why. They.
You're still wearing it.
Yeah, I know. My other clothes are back in the cave, so it is what it is. Just, yeah. Red mages. They've been chasing me since Kothar. They are trying to do something magical. Looks like some kind of. I don't know. It could be summoning, could be powers, it could be anything at this point. But whatever it is, it's bad because they're willing to murder and maim their way to it.
Oh shit, that's heavy.
And like, Neris is just like pacing left and right, still mildly on fire.
What sort of stuff were they after?
Well, my blood for one. They
Oh.
imprisoned me in some goddamn cave. I don't even know where. Well, now I know where, but not the point.
When Callie asks that question, can I insight check her? She's gotten strangely curious about the red mages.
Sure, go for it.
Oh, 19. What is
19.
my insight?
All right.
Plus 0.
That was a good roll. So,
Yeah.
what you can tell about Callie, as she's the expression on her face. Clearly, this is not her first time asking a lot of questions. You do recall that she is an investigator. She's a PI essentially. This is kind of her jam. So it doesn't seem entirely out of the ordinary that she's asking a lot of questions, but she seems genuinely concerned, and you think you do wonder what her intentions are behind her asking so many questions. That's not clear to you, but she's certainly it seems to make sense for what you know about her that she's interested.
I was hoping she was a double.
Well, I keep explaining about the dagger and and whatever, and that, and then when I'm done talking about the dagger, it's like, Leo, please, the placard.
Yes,
I beg you.
Can I quickly jump in, because mention was made of Daemon and Red Mages. Any discernible reaction from Callie when those names are mentioned?
I'll say make an insight check, Brucon.
An insight check, Brucon. 10. God damn it.
There seems to be.
Gambler is not with me today.
It's hard. It's kind of hard to read on this one. There seems to be a flicker of recognition, whether it's that she recognizes the name or whether it's just something that piques her interest. It's hard to tell.
Piquant.
Fair enough.
Did you just say piquant?
Yes.
Choice words.
I say there are worse things he could have been saying.
I know.
That's not the word I thought.
It's just a word
really
I
glad.
haven't heard in a long time.
No, it was.
I'm really glad we got that clarification that it's not the word I thought it was.
I'm concerned. I don't want to know, do I?
Piqua. Her interest. Pique her interest. Go ahead.
Yes. What kind of thing are we wanting to find out about?
any traces, anything? Does it have any magical properties, even so we can find out more about the dagger or any traces, any clues?
Certainly. While we have so many familiars out that are all rats, we could get them to sniff it and see if they can sort of follow any trail from this item out of the location.
Okay, let's do that.
While that's happening, Brucon is going to go over to Flint and start chatting with him in Dwarvish.
Sure. What
He's
do
a
you like to talk
dwarf,
to him
isn't
about? Who talked to you?
Yeah, so the question was, I'm remembering correctly that he's a dwarf, but then I remembered the
Yes.
thing about his arm. So Brucon kind of saunters up to him and says in Dwarvish, hello there, it seems it seems you're the only survivor. Are you all right?
Well, yes, it's been a while since Mace Flint has been beaten in such a way, but I guess, having the walls falling down on you is a little bit more challenging than a fist fight,
Yes, I do actually. Yes, there's a lot of walls falling down on people going around at the moment. Something in the air, maybe. But yes. So, what happened? Did you see anything?
Last I remember, there's something crashed through the wall. Just took me completely by surprise. I ended up out down on the deck. So a load of wood and shit started falling on me, and before it completely went pitch black for me, I saw fire was starting in the bar just around in front of me. And
Would you say something crashed through the wall, not a person then?
no, it was like a giant or something. It was so big, like it took down the entire wall in like 2 stories. Just bam, down.
Well, that's extremely disconcerting.
I didn't get a good look at it though.
No, and that was it. That's all you saw, was it?
Yeah, I was facing away from it, so it all happened so fast. Too fast for Mace Flint, that's for sure.
Well, I'm sure that's very fast indeed. Right. Well, fair enough. And that's that. I mean, Brucon he'll carry on chatting with him in a kind of like so Provincia. Hey, what's that like? And hand him a drink and kind of remain sociable. But that's it for the
That's the most topical stuff. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Sorry, Leo Bryn, you were saying something.
Yes.
Before that.
Leo was suggesting that if this placard that had the dagger on, is that the thing?
Yeah, you did.
If the dagger had been there. Well, no, the plan was with
the rats. Sorry.
Four familiars that all have advantage on scent checks, is to effectively do a sort of bloodhound thing of get the rats to sniff it and see which direction the smell has gone.
Yeah. So I would say for this, I think we're gonna. I mean, it's kind of perception and survival involved in this. So I think the rats get advantage on perception. Is that right? For smell?
They get advantage on smells. Yes.
For perception. So yeah, roll perception checks, please, for the rats.
For all 3 plus nibbles.
I can roll nibbles if you like, because he's kind of an NPC at this point. It's not anyone's familiar yet.
I was going to say, is Master rolling for...
Not yet.
If Nibbles ever does something useful, I'll be amazed. We've sent him on like 4 missions. Failed every time.
The best that the trio of rats got is a 14.
Okay, well, Nibbles I rolled a 17, and he's got the rat stats, so that's what, 20?
As far as I'm aware, it's just whatever you roll is their perception.
Oh, okay. Well, in which case... Yeah, he rolled highly enough on this with a 17. He's like,
I'll get something. It's it's but
Alright.
That noise, I love it.
I'm gonna stab him.
Let's not make that noise a regular thing, shall we?
It's so good.
It's like a aniseed that's bitter and sweet and sour. I think I got something.
and he starts scurrying up the stairs.
Or what remains of them.
I want to follow this rat. He's been on
So-
3 missions for us, and he is useless. I don't trust this.
So I'm gonna like go like as I see Seth, like if I'm standing next to him, as I see Seth leaving, I'm gonna try to trip him for slapping me before. What kind of check would that be, if any?
So
Auto succeed?
You're going to try and trip him. Okay.
Yeah.
So you make an attack roll as if it's an unarmed strike. And
Amazing.
then that will be contested.
Oh! Natural 20.
Oh, wow.
Don't believe.
Yeah.
Seth, you've got to roll a natural 20 on your dex save to avoid this.
Yes.
My dex is +8. Anything to that?
Well, I mean, I have, you know.
Yeah, but a natural 20 is an auto hit, so...
Yeah.
18.
18, yeah.
Plus
So
8.
you succeed in tripping Seth. Seth, you face plant the floor. Well, actually, you actually hit your head on the stair going up, and you take a point of bludgeoning damage.
And
Forceful hit.
Neris just looks down and she's like, you know why. Like,
Hang on,
but with her eyes,
But-
just like.
But here's the real question. Go on, James.
Oh, sorry, I was gonna say, I look back and my eyes just go, the war has begun.
But wait. Here's the real question. Seth just hit his head. On his head is a hat. How's the hat?
The hat falls off your head, but it's still in
Oh,
good
damn
condition. It's a leather.
I've got mending. It's fine.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
pretty
sure you
durable.
do actually. Yeah.
It's a well-made,
hat's gonna be
durable,
fine.
leather tricorn hat. Quite similar to this one, actually.
So basically,
Does he have my hat?
the elf,
Oh, he's got my hat.
the elf and the half elf are basically in an epic like squint off right now.
And, Seth, when you hit your head and you start to kind of regain your senses after that, reeling, again you hear the voice in your head. So close, Seth. So close to so much power.
As I start to go back towards following Nibbles, I'm just going to be saying, which is probably loud enough people can hear, I'm just like, in a fucking minute. And I'm just going to be starting to follow Nibbles towards where he said upstairs.
Okay. So,
I'm gonna follow as well.
sure. And as for the rest of you, then, what are you doing? So, Neris and Seth are following. Brucon is currently talking to Mace, and Giselle as well joins you as well. Just chatting with you and relaying what she saw. We will get to that though, Bart, before the end of today's session. But as for Malar, Leobrin, Fleeting, what are you guys doing?
Well, considering the 3 familiars that Leobrin has, none of them track the scent. And Neris wanted a detect magic going on.
Yep.
The 3 familiars vanish as Leobrin turns on detect magic.
All right.
Wait, where are your glasses and the? Yeah, there you go. Like a little radar in his
Scanning
head.
a barcode. Okay, so magic. Neris emanates magic from her as standard. You see Seth going up the stairs, and his chest area emanates some magic, as well as a something in his pocket. Also, there's like a disc, which you recognise as the medallion. Also emanates magic. The staff as well that it also does. But aside from the usual things, magic-wise, there's not in this area. There's not a lot. There's no magic pings that you can tell.
Okay. No residual tracking.
There is a distinct lack of magic, like negative, almost the negative of magic coming from the other end of the cellar, and you recognise that's the cave entrance to the Rat King lair from so long ago.
Was that cave still closed off, or has it been reopened from this falling in?
That's a very good question. Leobrin, did you want to know
that? I mean, is this not visible, being that we were in the
not currently lit down here
cellar?
So it is in darkness.
I got
with your dark vision. You can see. Well, there are barrels and stuff in the way, but yeah. So that's all you can really see. But you've got the negative energy thing, so clearly the entrance is still there. If you were to move these barrels and stuff, you probably could open it again.
I'll put a pin in that to discuss with people later.
Okay.
But he'll head upstairs, because if Nibbles has on the trail of something, maybe the detect magic will be useful there.
That's a good idea. That's a good thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Heading on out.
Okay, so following. So Malar. Sorry, I've actually last one to check with. What are you doing?
Malar will just be sort of shifting through the debris, assuming we've got all the bodies out.
Yep.
I guess he's probably thinking that since Neris wants to go off on one, he's probably trying to find some food that he can use as a ration or something.
Sure. That's a good idea. Make an investigation check. See what you can find.
Can I use my nose?
Oh, sniffing out food, eh? Sniffing out fresh food. Okay, in which case that'll be a perception check with advantage. Yeah.
It's going to be 17.
With a 17, there's not really any fresh food left here that hasn't been spoiled. You've definitely got a few upturned remnants of supplies from the kind of kitchenette that are just they're not in a consumable state. They've been smashed up and all sorts. You do get, however, you do find a bottle of Flaming Jak Buka, which has been left under the bar, and that kind of caught your smell quite quickly because of its very potent smell.
I take the bottle, and I just, because we've not recovered Jack, have we?
Nope. And those three bodies you've pulled out, none of those bear the resemblance to him.
Take the bottle, gently place it on a flat, solid piece of rubble, and then I just take a stone and I bash the shit out of it.
Just smack the bottle. Okay, so as the rest of you are coming up the stairs, you see Malar smashing a bottle to smithereens.
That's one less sin in the world.
And Nibbles looks back at you, Seth, and goes,
That's the kind of smell. It's like that. Hang on.
And he kind of scurries past Malar, and then skirts the edge of the bar, heads outside, but he's following the kind of the edging of what used to be the building, and then starts meandering by the path. There's a kind of, you notice that the road that's running along the half road that's parallel to the inn, it's kind of a verge that goes down. There's kind of a dip from the road down. The road is slightly elevated from the grounds, and he continues Nibbles in this kind of ditch for quite some time before suddenly making a sharp right and then up onto the road again, across the road, and then starts heading towards the forest.
Nibbles, how far are you going?
I can smell it. It's
and turns around and goes,
it went this way. The smell is this way.
Is it right there, or is it like very far from there that we're now following you into the woods? And I
Oh, brilliant!
check his answer.
I rolled the same thing twice. Brilliant.
I'm not sure. It might be close.
Did Neris follow Nibbles with me?
Yes.
I'm going to turn to her and say, do you want to get the others to follow the smell after we've gotten everyone out?
I mean, do we have any other leads or anything? No? So yes?
I give them both a look and go back to get the others.
Sure. Neris, while you're waiting for Seth to recover the others, can you make a
Run the rat!
can you make a perception check for me, please?
That is... Oh, 1 second. Oh, God, I need another screen for all of this.
With a passive perception of 16, did I see anything as I left?
I also rolled 16.
16. Okay, now that you're looking around and have taken your eyes up from the investigation, and Seth, you notice this as you get back to the inn as well. The edge of the forest, which is across the road from the inn, there's no source of fire or anything here, but it looks like some trees have been knocked down, as if a large being has moved through this area, or like a car, like a bulldozer or something, has just knocked them over. There were splintered tree trunks littered on the ground.
The trees were down, but was the ground? Would it be that same earth elemental?
Where else would the ground be but down?
If you're asking if the ground has been upturned
gliding
and disturbed, that's a good question. With a 16 and from this distance, you wouldn't know, but you can go check it out in a second. First
I don't like that.
off,
She just...
sorry.
Neris just says, I've got a bad feeling about this.
Hey.
Within earshot of Nibbles.
And Nibbles like looks at you and just goes, just nods. Brucon, from talking to Giselle, she also shared with you her experience before it all collapsed, and she was on the opposite side of the bar to where Flint was, so she got a better look of what happened. She describes this giant being. It looked like a human almost, but it was made entirely of like a brown kind of rock or stone, but it was more malleable than that, and it just burst through the building. Splinters went everywhere. She tried to run out of the front door, but she got cut off before she could get there by the falling debris and so on. There was also fire, and it looked like the being was being followed by a humanoid in a red robe, but it covered their features.
Most interesting. Okay.
It gave me the chills, it did. I thought he was dead for sure.
Well, very happy to have been able to stop that from happening at the very least, if not a lot else. The figure in the red robe, don't suppose you've got to look at their face?
No, not before the stuff came down on me. There was a flicker from the fire that they sort of summoned from their hand, but I didn't get a good look. No. Oh, I'm so glad you saved me. I'm so happy you did. And she like pulls you in for a big hug, which, given that she's a human and you're a dwarf, interesting.
Yeah. You don't need to.
That we'll say no more than that. But anyway, then puts you down. She goes, "You remind me of my husband. He's a dwarf as well. No, I think you may have met him at the farm. Kind of grizzled, like a big bushy beard. But he's a lovely lad. He is.
The great big bushy beard.
Is that the guy from Hot Fuzz that we couldn't understand a word?
Yes, that's the one. Yes.
Yeah, the guy from Hot Fuzz.
The guy from Hot Fuzz. Yeah, that's the one. I think his name was Randall. Thank you so much. Yeah. I probably should leave, actually. I should probably go back there. He's probably worried sick.
Yes, that seems quite likely.
Thank you all again. I don't have much, but when you next come by the farm, I'm sure I can. I can give you guys something that's more worthy. You know, with show my appreciation. And thanks to you, Mister Malar, was it?
Oh, that's Deacon Mala, Shade Creek.
So sorry, Deacon,
the Hammer Furnace
Mr.
due to the
Deacon,
age.
sir. Thank you
Oh,
both.
that's quite a redness.
So, coming up the stairs, then Callie has sort of beckons to you, Fleeting. So, I guess it's been nice seeing you. I'll let you guys do what you gotta do, but this red mage thing is a bit of a something that doesn't feel. There's something I recognize about it. Let me just go back to my. I'll go back to the agency and see what I can dig out. Maybe I'll catch up with you guys another time. Oh.
So the Brucon's conversation with Flint and Giselle was happening around about the same time as Bloodhound Nibbles was going on.
Exactly.
So when that conversation kind of naturally comes to a conclusion, Brucon gets up and saunters over to the rest of the party and inquires. You know, there's a brief catch up that we don't need to roleplay.
Sure.
And then Brucon turns his eyes towards the trees and goes, "Well, I think we know. I think we have a pretty good idea of what caused that." Are we proposing to follow?
Is there anyone still left alive in here? Are we still looking for anyone?
All bodies. I think we've pulled out everyone alive.
So we pulled out everyone alive.
I think. Yeah,
Well,
we pulled out.
As far as we can tell, the only question was about the mer people, because I'm pretty sure we didn't find any mer
That's a
people
good point.
bodies.
Yeah, so Malar, in your searching, it doesn't appear that the merfolk was there. That wasn't one of the bodies. So yeah, they're certainly not there
If
now.
we found everyone alive, survivors, head back to head back. Wait, is Hillberg or the upper place? Half-Rage. Which one's
Half-Rage is
closest?
probably closer, but Giselle's definitely heading back to Hillberg because her farm's there.
And the only other survivor is that dwarf, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to say to him, head to Half-Rage, it's the closest place. We're going to follow the people that did this.
Right. Well, thank you again, and I'll put in a good word for you. But maybe this isn't the last you've seen of Mace Flint of House Flint. I could show you the ropes and adventuring and stuff. I've come all the way from Provincia. It's a lot more inhospitable than you down here near the south of Burekrin, that's for sure. Anyway, I'll best be off. Thanks again.
You in a fight before?
I believe that that was not an even fight. I believe we called it off. It wasn't not right, you know. So I think it was a draw.
That sounds like the talk of a loser. Come on, team, let's go.
You want to go right now, then? Come on, then, you pansy.
I'm not even paying attention to it. That's right. Not even a him.
He rages. Does a 19 hit?
Yes.
All right.
Am I able to prepare a dodge or anything?
You. This is from behind. So
an uncanny dodge of hearing this thing raging behind me, running up to me.
You can uncanny dodge, sure. You take 7 points of bludgeoning damage. So
Is
reduce
that halved,
to
or is
3
that-
because you're uncanny dodging. Yep.
Cool. I'm going to turn around and pull my dagger on his throat and just go back to Half-Rage.
How far away am I?
Neris, you're still outside. You're.
Oh, do I not see
you're
that?
You're within earshot, just about.
I get
Your
hit in the back
shot,
of the
but
head.
not eye line.
Not in eyeline, no.
Okay, fine.
I've just got the dagger out right by his throat, and I'm going to be
Yeah.
saying, go back to half reach.
And he just, like, he looks really angry for a second, but then it drops and he starts laughing because, see, that is why we called the fight to a stop before, because you don't fight with honor. I'm the victor here. I'll leave.
And because you run away.
Yeah,
I'm
whatever
gonna
you
forget
gotta
that.
say.
Don't give me that face, TK.
You're saying I run away. At least I don't pull blades on unarmed men. I've got a sense of honor. What have you got?
A blade.
Stabby.
Sorry, but I didn't hear that.
You're
I
muted,
said a
Bart.
blade.
Bart, you're muted.
So I am.
Stabby.
It really wasn't that important.
Leave like a little
It's
warning
Brucon.
cut across his beard, so he can't. So when the scar tissue goes over, he can't grow more beard over it.
Well, as you saved my
The
life,
ultimate insult.
as you saved my life, I'll leave it at that.
Oh my god.
Hard to read if you're friend or foe, mate.
Is Brucon present for this exchange?
Yes.
Brucon lays a hand on his shoulder. And not yours. On Flint's. And says, "Yeah, well done. You won. Congratulations." And then he kind of like moves down, grabs his hand, holds it up in the air, and goes, "Ding, ding, ding! You're victor. Now, well done. Now, shoot."
Right, as I said, you saved my life, and I owe you for that. But just seems strange. You pull blades on people you've just saved. You want to watch this one, and then he leaves.
Brucon turns to Seth. And goes,
Dude punches a guy that pulls him out of the rubble. You know that's gonna be the revenge plot.
"Leave it, Gaz. He's not worth it." That's essentially Brucon's.
All right. So
suggestions.
anyway, gents, as you after this scuffle and you head out from the rubble, and yes, you notice, all of you, the broken trees. It seems to be forming a sort of path into the forest, but it isn't the trail, Neris, that Nibbles is following. He seems to be going in a slightly different trajectory to it. They're both heading into the forest, but slightly different from here. What could
I want
this
to
mean?
follow Nibbles.
Sure.
Still filled with the rage of wanting to murder that man, I'm gonna yell to everyone, "Let's follow the rat now! Let's go! Let's go!"
And you all
And I'm still holding my dagger, and I'm fucking I wanna go!
you all start
Start
heading
cutting trees.
as you start heading in that direction. Leobrin, you just tugged to one side. Callie Shallows has been sort of waiting around outside. Hey, friend.
yes.
You look like you've more of a socialite type. You know, go to a lot of parties and stuff. Not the kind of things I get invited to, but that's besides the point. Is Fleeting pissed off with me for some reason?
He's very hard to read. I wouldn't take it personally.
He full on cold shouldered me. Like, come on, I'm putting myself out there, and I just feel like I'm getting nothing back. You know.
I would recommend getting a hat.
Learning a lot about the sea.
Yes. And maybe get a little of that reverse psychology going on. Like, act like you don't like him. He seems to like that.
Oh. Huh. That's interesting. But a hat? Are you sure?
I mean, he definitely seems something about him and hats. I'm not entirely sure, but definitely like the cold shoulder. the reverse psychology on him, and he definitely seems that interested in that and hats.
These are the
And,
skills. These are the skills via which Leoberin was able to do so well with the round.
Make a persuasion check, Leoberin, but with advantage, because I think there was the solid logic there.
Yeah. I was about to add, and have you considered dog treats? But sure, we'll go with this.
Yeah, you can add that in. That's fine.
What's the check I'm rolling? Sorry, I missed
persuasion.
That. Persuasion. Oh, good. That is 25.
For God's sake. Brilliant. And she kind of she looks up at you with she smiles. There's a glimmer in her eye. Dog treats, huh? And a hat. That sounds interesting. Leave it with me. I'll get back to the agency and talk about some of this red mage stuff. See what I can dig out, and I'll keep in mind what you said, handsome. Thank you.
And the reverse psychology. Don't forget that.
Oh, what reverse psychology? No, you remember the reverse psychology. Huh?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Leo, best wingman in the Manylands.
Yeah. And she starts with that, looking at a bit more swagger in her gait. She starts leaving, heading towards Half-Rage, while the rest of you meet up with Neris and start following Nibbles as he enters into Half-Light Forest. And that's where... Sorry, Neris, go ahead.
No, I haven't said anything.
Okay.
It was just me. I was trying to defend Leobrin's charms, on the judgment of his high rolls versus ways he's speaking. As he's got like a naive charm to him.
It works. He pulls. Leo pulls. Anyway,
he's very honest.
So as you all start heading into Half-Light Forest, we're going to end today's session there.
Power role play.
So things are afoot.
I've made so many enemies today.
Yeah, you really could have avoided that. You basically forced that into happening a bit there. But hey, it's Seth. It makes sense.
He forced it as well. It's forced.
Okay. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching today, and join us next week to find out what the guys can uncover in Half-Light Forest. The mystery continues. Until then, everyone, stay safe and have a great week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.